What's up, everybody? My name is Bryce Koon, Ralph Leary, and Will Mannis beside me. Welcome to the 2024 Crowded Booth NFL Draft Watch Party. We're going to be live for the entire first round. We know it takes 2 hours or so. We're going to be in and out. We're going to be talking. Share with your friends. Share with your coworkers. Share with that person that you absolutely hate. Share with Ted from work that you absolutely hate as well. And make sure all Pratt Whitney's watching this here on a fine Thursday evening. Hey, welcome in. My name is Bryce Koon, Will Mannis, Ralph Leary. Tonight's 2-hour potential live stream here on the Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. Hey, they might be watching in Tanzania. We appreciate you. The Aborigines watching, if you are, we appreciate it. Will Mannis, my name's Bryce Koon. That's Ralph Leary. We're rocking and rolling here on a Thursday evening, getting ready for the 2024 NFL Draft. We're going to be in and out. I got dinner on the stove. These two fellows are going to carry it. You got noted Falcons fan insider there, Will Mannis. And you got Buffalo Bills escapee Ralph Leary, and I am not a Saints fan, and I'm in the new house, so we're rocking and rolling with a fantastic evening. We got the draft on the TV. You guys are talking it. We're going to be absolutely lit here on a fantastic, and if the boys know why I'm feeling good, it's because I got a little cold snacks in my system, and so we're getting ready to rock and roll here on a fantastic Thursday evening. Fellas, I'm going to go finish up my tacos for dinner, and you guys take it away.
Well, this is the best way to do it, Will. This is between you and me talking.
This is finally the
What
Don't
you
Know
did not
Nobody
expect.
podcast.
I changed the banner. This is the Don't Know Nobody podcast. Well, it's the NFL draft, man. There's nothing. It's probably the biggest spectacle when it comes to a draft. I mean,
No doubt about it.
I mean, the parties that go on during it. I mean, you can look at any tweet on Twitter right now. Everyone, people being there. It's a packed out area. I mean, it's crazy how many people show up for just the first night of the draft. And now they'll show up all weekend. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, football is king. The NFL is king, no matter how much we want to argue that. We love college football. Me, you, Bryce, everybody in the comments. We love college football, but you've got to admit the NFL's king. They've dominated the market. They've turned the draft into the spectacle that it is. And they make it very entertaining, except for giving every team 10 minutes to make their pick. Like, there's no reason for the Chicago Bears to get 10 minutes to make the first pick tonight.
And you go back a few drafts when you had like the clear number ones, like when Andrew Luck was drafted, or you go back to even go to Cam Newton and Matthew Stafford when they're drafted number one overall. No team needed more than 30 seconds, and that was just to send in the answer. It's just wild to me that we get so much time to these teams. Especially, one, if you don't know who answer number one is, number two has 20 minutes to decide. 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, let's be real here. You got 4 months really to decide. You don't know who you're taking in 4 months. You don't need to be picking at number two.
Exactly. Bryce, what's your thoughts on the 10-minute time on the clock?
Yeah, look, I think that it's way too long. I think I saw it was from some podcast they were talking about this. I don't know if you guys mentioned this. It's like give them 45 seconds. Like make it like an ESPN fantasy football draft. Like who you're taking. It's especially in a draft like this. Like everyone knows Caleb Williams. I think he's the betting odds to go number 1. I don't know why we're sitting here waiting like to act like it's not going to happen. We all know Chicago's going to do that. What's more intriguing though, guys, what's Chicago going to do number 9? Like I think that's the story. That do you trade back? Do you? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I think the biggest comment we have
yeah.
right now is this one right here. I'll let you two talk about this.
I'm not. Well, I'm not
it's
going.
Not happening.
So,
it's not. It's just not happening. Jake,
the only
I'm
person who needs to be talked about tonight.
Jake, I think you and I agree here. I think JJ McCarthy is quietly and under the radar going to be. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say it. He's going to be the best quarterback in the class 2-3 years down the road. And that's for a number of reasons. Bryce, as you know, quarterback especially, it all depends on the situation that you're drafted into.
Yeah.
And there's a couple really good ones in the top 10 for him to go to that would make it easy for him to succeed right away. I know you're not a JJ McCarthy fan, but I don't. Even if he's there at 8, the Falcons won't be taking him. And if he's on the board for the Falcons to take it at 8, they're probably going to trade back anyway.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything. That's why we don't do podcasts in the NFL. But no, I mean, look, I've already told you, like, I want a late round flyer. Boy, Stool starts tonight with a horrible take. That's what we're here for. David says, I would think more ad revenue is why they want to make it longer. Hands down there.
No doubt.
I agree with you. Hate to say it, but that was big sarcasm. I expected it. T to Jake, you ready to see the best player ever that's graced the college football field be drafted by the Jets at number 10? Brock Bowers. That's who it's going to be. I heard.
I would love it if the Falcons took Brock Bowers.
Eminem just took the stage, by the way.
Yeah, it's in Detroit.
Oh, man. Roger Goodell completely out of his element right now. All right, so we know Chicago is going to be in the clock. Will, tell me, like, what do you think? I need Ralph to come back so I can make sure my tacos don't burn.
Go ahead. What are you doing? I can.
Well, yeah, roll. I'll be back. We're just going to be in and out all night. It's going to be a little fun live stream. All right, I'll be right back. Ralph is back. But y'all talk about the draft. See ya.
Okay, Mr. Singh. Getting colorful in here. Welcome back, Ralph. So the Bears are on the clock.
Yes,
what do we think?
Eminem is on stage.
What do we think here?
Well,
are they actually going to take Caleb Williams?
They don't take Caleb. I mean, look, let's just be honest here. We all agree. I think the three of us are going to agree on the number 2 quarterback taken is a better option. But everyone's telling you to take Caleb Williams at 1.
Well, I mean, Caleb Williams was like anointed the number 1 pick. What, 2 years ago?
He was anointed the number 1 pick when he won the Heisman.
When was that? 3 years ago? 2 years ago? Whenever that was.
2 years ago.
I don't know nobody. I don't know times. I don't know places. I don't know things. Oh, Barry Sanders taking the stage.
Barry Sanders, Aiden.
I don't know why I'm acting surprised because it's in Detroit.
And is it Brian Branch? Is that who it is? Or is that Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Look at that.
Who's this short guy? Is that Amon-Ra St. Brown?
That's not Tallahassee Payne, is it?
Tallahassee Payne.
Tallahassee Payne. He's so short.
Is that who it is?
Where's Jahmyr
not
Gibbs?
look that short in pads?
Where's Alabama legend Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah, he went to Alabama.
Yeah.
Why would
he be Jared Goff? Jared Goff,
the native
of
the
fastest Jared Goff has ever run. Right there. That was
true.
the fastest he's ever run.
Former number 2 overall pick, Aiden Hutchinson, because he didn't get number 1.
God, Barry Sanders is a lot smaller than I thought he was. Or it's just because Jared Goff and Aiden Hutchinson are massive human beings.
They're both 6'5", aren't they?
I just got a text message from some complete morons.
Uh-oh.
Said Detroit's so lame as SMH. Will, you know
So
these
lame?
kids. So lame. That kid's never even been out of Columbus. Okay.
Talking about people that don't know nobody.
So they're just booing Goodell. Can we all agree that Goodell might be the worst commissioner?
Sports commissioner? I don't know. Bud Selig was pretty bad.
I mean, I'm talking about right now.
Why does he not have his top button buttoned? That's my question. Who does he think he
Ever
is?
since 2020, he's been more laid back. When he sat in that leather chair and then did the draft from there, he's been
That was
way
the
more laid
worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Also, this is a great comment. Alabama
then-
built Jahmyr Gibbs in a cave with a box of scraps.
back. Hey, and then he gave the chair away to a fan.
Yeah, who wants a chair that Roger Goodell sat in?
I'll tell you one thing, I'd get it and burn it.
Listen,
We know
You
you
talk-
burn it, you arsonist.
you talk about the things that people will buy on the internet. It's not a surprise that somebody bought Roger Goodell's chair.
All right, so are they going to let the full 10 minutes go here?
Yep.
I mean,
They always
absolutely.
do.
Who are they going to take? If it's not who we think it is,
Oh. Is that a crispy Sprite? Ralph, I need you to take the branding off that once again. Free advertisement.
Ralph loves. Oh,
Oh, God. I don't know. That's getting clipped. All right, I'll be right back.
I have a koozie around me. I do, but it's a bad koozie.
look at
I can't
this.
use it.
The Bears team needs is not even quarterback. Okay, ESPN. ESPN lists the Bears needs as edge, center/guard, wide receiver, and offensive tackle. Not even quarterback. That's interesting.
This whole draft's interesting.
Never even heard of Dan Pastorini.
Look, Will, they're trying to make you mad. They're trying to piss you off.
I
agree
mean,
that.
let's be fair. He won a New Year's Six bowl, so
Let's also be fair. You know what he did?
put him in there as a legend.
He did beat Alabama
He did
as
as a true freshman.
Yeah. What Tech can't do?
Why is it college game? Oh God, I'm gonna have to turn this off.
Get him off the screen already. What is he wearing?
Why is college game day doing the NFL draft?
Ever since ESPN took it over, dude. Come on now.
ESPN's had the NFL draft for most of our lifetimes, Ralph.
Look,
When they wouldn't let Chris Berman do it anymore, is probably when they started this. Are they playing Go Fish? They're probably playing spades or something.
from Caleb Williams, Oklahoma highlights. To 22 is when he won the Heisman. To 2022 when he was named by the potential first overall pick.
Jonesy, you're probably talking about my fantasy leagues, 1 and 2 picks.
My
Right there.
drafts in fantasy next year when I had the 9 and 10 overall pick. The two best players in college football.
the
The
dynasty-
best two players in the state of Georgia. Hands down.
The
By
dynasty
far,
league
the
I'm in.
best- Yeah.
The dynasty league I'm in, Ralph, is tight end boosted, so everybody
Yeah.
knows Brock Bowers is going 1.
Oh, absolutely. Because, well, I'll tell you one thing. It was, you remember when they made Taysom Hill a tight end?
Yes. Tobias, good question. Do 6 QBs actually get drafted in the first round? Truth be told, I only think Williams, May, and Daniels. McCarthy is overrated.
McCarthy's going in the top 10.
Yes.
what's gonna happen. There's going to be a trade, and he's going in there.
There
Top
may
10.
not have to be a trade. If he's there at 5, I think the Chargers take him
The Minnesota.
because
well,
Jim Harbaugh
what?
loves him.
The Chargers would be crazy to have Herbert and draft McCarthy. That's insane.
This is a totally new regime in LA. So, and we know how Jim Harbaugh, what he thinks of JJ McCarthy.
I get that. But
Okay, Tobias says I misspoke. I think only those 3 deserve it. Michael Penix sounds like he's even going to go top 10. The Giants, it came out today, they're looking to trade up to take Drake Maye. If they can't, they will settle, is the words that were used for Michael Penix at 6. Which I
Hey,
think
quick
is
question
bit of a
for
reach.
you guys. So this is a guy that I think will be selected in the draft at least. I just read this from a national guy. He says,
So he
we're
don't know
probably
ball.
talking about Spencer Rattler as a top 10 pick if he had played at Alabama, Georgia, LSU, or Ohio State. Thoughts? I'll leave it there.
So if he played on one of the top teams in the country, he would have looked a lot better,
Yeah, I'm not
and
against
he would have been
that.
a top 10 pick.
That kind of makes sense. Okay, is this crazy? I think Spencer Rattler could have done what JJ McCarthy did at Michigan.
Yeah.
Like with a better Spencer
Think
Rattler was the only
about-
reason South Carolina was competitive.
Yeah, think about the other quarterbacks in college at the time. Bryce Young, Bryce Young still would have been taken over him. If they both went to Alabama, Bryce Young would have started over him. If he goes to Ohio State, CJ Stroud would have started over him. So
I guess this is saying the hypothetical they're not there and he's their QB1. I guess I don't have enough context for this post.
I guess.
Huh.
What feeds are y'all watching?
I just have my TV on ESPN right now.
I'm watching YouTube TVs. Yeah.
I'm on the ABC feed, and it's the Game Day Crew,
Well, of course.
which is now no. Nick Saban is in his seat.
Oh.
So get used to seeing that, everybody. I guess I can't watch Game Day anymore.
I want to have a serious conversation about this because I know that I might be biased. I watched him all year. Am I crazy for thinking that Jaden Daniels is better than Caleb Williams?
We already talked about this earlier.
I think he is, and I like Drake Maye better
I
too.
I said a minute ago, Bryce, when you said the way that I think the three of us could all agree that the second overall quarterback is better than number one.
Whether it's
But
May
everyone's-
or Daniels?
Well, I was just saying Daniels in general. I mean, Daniels is going number two, I think.
I'll tell you this. I think that I mean, you just look at Jaden's numbers, obviously what he does, but it's the fact that he doesn't turn the ball over either. Like that's the biggest thing for rookies. If you turn the
Here's
ball
a
over
legitimate question. All right, the pick is in, but here's a legitimate question.
About time.
Is Caleb Williams suffering from like prospect fatigue?
I'm leaving this group
I think
text,
he
by the way,
is.
but yeah.
I think he is. I don't think he's that great. I think. Let's see. I don't know.
My wife's home, so I'm gonna
Tobias
go.
with the
I'll be
best
right back.
point of the night. Daniels is better than May. A Daniels-led UNC team doesn't lose to Tech.
I
Best
agree.
point of the night.
That's also
Jonesy, yes, I
NAYE.
think it is very likely the Falcons trade back. We'll have to see how the first 7 picks go, but
Well,
I'm
the thing is,
leaning.
I think we can all agree though the Falcons are taking defense, no matter whether they're 8 or 11.
Surely, right? They committed all this money to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
There's no way they're taking there's no way they're taking a quarterback at 8 or in the first round.
No, so yeah, I don't know. I don't even think they reach for a quarterback this year. I think they're waiting for 2 or 3 years for someone else to kind of hit the limelight, you know. And then every year there's always a college. No, we're not
Sorry,
putting it up.
I keep looking at the.
I know.
All right, here we go. Goodell's at the mic.
And we'll go ahead and I've already seen it. Go ahead and change it.
You're that far ahead of me?
No, I got on my
Really?
phone first.
Oh,
Caleb Williams.
my phone hasn't even gone off.
I think everyone in their right mind knew he was going 1 overall. If you didn't know he was going 1 overall, you just haven't watched football or listened to anything in the last 2 years. So, I mean, ever since the Bears had the opportunity to get the first round
Yeah,
pick,
I mean,
the first
the
overall
Bears-
pick was Caleb Williams.
Yeah, they had to make this pick. I mean, he's safe. Stats put up FBS best
Multi-fact.
120 touchdowns responsible for since 2021.
Yeah, 52 touchdowns in 2022.
That's impressive. 120 touchdowns responsible for. That's impressive. He certainly looks fired up to be a Chicago Bear.
And after he came out and said he would not play, he would return to college, depending on who he will play for.
Interesting that he's this fired up about the Bears.
He was about running out of that tunnel, honestly. He was moving through there. Do you
I
think
think
the
he's fired
Bears
up about all the money that he's about to get paid when he signs that contract. That signing bonus
he
he's going to
heard
get.
what he was going to get when he got there, and keys to the kingdom, basically. This thing's excited. I mean, he's dancing on stage almost.
I don't think they've shown his fingernails, Jonesy.
That's a very true. Good question.
Yeah, I think if the Panthers still had this pick, there's no way he goes to the draft. He probably goes back to USC.
Nah, I think we all can agree on that one too. I'm just going ahead and get the ticker ready for the next one.
So, Caleb Williams, number 1.
Yeah, I think everyone
puts the Washington
the Commanders are on the clock.
football team on the clock.
Did you say
Now,
football team?
I did.
Okay. Bears are excited, but hey, you got to focus up. You had the 9th overall pick still. Are you going to trade?
I think they trade out of that. I definitely think they trade out of that.
There's too much pressure for them at 9 to take anything because, the story was them going to get after taking 1 wants to try to get the number 2 pick also and get Marvin Harris for the longest time.
Yeah, I'm sure the Commanders were not going to do that. You talk about teams need a quarterback. These next two need a quarterback badly. Commanders and Patriots.
Yeah, New England's in a weird situation where they thought they had their guy and Mac Jones, and he just I don't know. I can't sit there and blame Mac Jones for everything.
Right. I still think Mac Jones is going to be I don't know if I want to go and say solid, but he'll at least be a serviceable NFL quarterback. I don't know what was going on in New England. I don't know if you've watched the documentary that they came out with, the Patriots documentary, what they call it, the Dynasty that Apple made. There was a lot going on there the last couple of years between Belichick and Kraft and the rest of the front office.
Well, yeah, new head coach, new coaching staff,
right?
New era.
So they're obviously going to go quarterback, but
right.
But my point being, I think they did Mac Jones wrong. Now it's very possible Mac Jones not who they thought he was, which is probably pretty true, but still, I don't. You could tell the way the game plan was and the way plays were called when Mac Jones was benched and they put Bailey Zappi in. I think they tried much harder to put Zappi in a position to succeed more than Mac Jones.
Room, it looks like the pick is being called in right now.
It probably is.
I mean, I think it's a very calm room, though. I'll tell you that. Looks like a very, very solid pick coming in here.
All right, Ralph. Before the picks in, are they taking Jaden Daniels or Drake Maye?
Jaden Daniels.
I think so.
I think they Jaden Daniels just because what he can do on the field for you, and what you can do. Not with just his arm talent. I mean, he can run. He can create plays with his feet. I mean, he's been so good the last few years at LSU, especially this past year winning the Heisman and just lighting up the field. I mean, that's the best way. Carried LSU to their season this year. I mean, if they had some sort of defense, they probably would have won 11, 12 games. Honestly, I mean, they went to shootouts against Ole Miss and Missouri, which both games were insane.
Yeah, those were fun games.
Now they're still on the clock, which is concerning to me.
Yeah, I think Jaden Daniels too. I think he's better than Drake Maye. I'm not sure Washington goes back to the North Carolina well.
No. Which Sam Howell is not a bad quarterback.
No, I think Sam Howell is a bit undersized. He's really just a gunslinger. And last year I think they just kind of let him go out there and just be like, hey, just try to make plays, and who cares what happens. I certainly think Sam Howell has the arm strength. I don't know if maybe the mobility's there. Obviously he's a little shorter for quarterback. God, I cannot look at the comments.
I'm not even reading the comments, man.
Don't read it. You'll get off track.
Oh my gosh. I was like, no, I think I agree. I think Drake Maye is a gunslinger. Washington's just going to something new quarterback era
Yeah.
for them. Also, new coaching staff for them. Right? I think they hired.
Yes, they hired Dan Quinn.
Right. So, oh gosh,
I don't know.
Surprised not
I don't
going
know who their
defense
offensive
here.
coordinator is.
I don't know who they hired. Oh, did they get
It
no,
was
he-
Eric
he-
Bieniemy, but I don't think he kept him.
I don't know if he kept him either. I think he. went
Oh
as
my gosh,
Who is it?
it's Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, that's right.
So I think it will be Jaden Daniels.
It will
Definitely will
definitely be
be.
Jaden. Because I'll tell you one thing: if it was Jaden Daniels was 1 overall, Caleb Williams was number 2 easily.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. I think Goodell is walking on stage now.
Thanks, Dr. Bob. I will let you know. I will let you know.
Oh gosh. All right, Goodell is on stage. He is. I'm pretty sure. I'm going Jaden Daniels. Just final.
Yeah, I'm going Jaden Daniels too.
Bryce got to watch. He's gonna have to like write a whole new article about it. And Jaden Daniels, it is.
Bryce is about to come sprinting back in here.
Jaden Daniels goes number 2 to the Washington Commanders.
Why does this guy got a stethoscope? What is?
Where?
They didn't show. You didn't see that?
I'm looking at Jaden Daniels like dapping up his friends and family.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing, but they just showed. So they showed the fans as
There's a
Goodell reads the pick.
That surprised me.
Had like a Commander's red like doctor's coat on, and like had like looked like rubber gloves.
Interesting.
So the Heisman winner, Jaden Daniels, goes number 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Only player in FBS history with 12,000 passing yards and 3,000 rush yards in a career. And
the LSU
Bryce is
beat
fist
writer
pumping
is here.
because that check cleared. He got paid this week, so he can celebrate this
I
pick.
lost it in the move though.
Jaden Daniels fired up to be even just. I mean,
I just got a text that said that Jaden Daniels is a bust.
From who? Is it not? Don't I don't need a name, but what does this person do?
Bryce
He plays third base for St. Louis baseball.
Bryce, last year after the season ended, where would you have had Jaden Daniels go in the draft if he would have?
He's a member. Oh wait, is he a member of the Lollipop Guild?
Before his Heisman year, do you think Jaden Daniels was a top 10 quarterback?
No.
Top 10 quarterback?
Top 10
Or pick.
Top 10 pick. How about that? Sorry.
No. I think he was a day 2 pick.
Okay. Just
Yep. Dr. Bob, keep it in perspective. No one knows how any of these picks are going to work out.
it's true. No one knows
true.
anything. Also, the kid who texts him that is an 8th grader in middle school, so he don't know anything.
Or anybody.
Yeah, it's also very true.
But
He can't even pitch-
here's
he
the
can't even
thing.
pitch correctly.
If Jaden Daniels can keep himself healthy, which I think he does a really good job of, or he did at LSU, of avoiding hits.
you
He had
what, he
that
took
really
some
big hit
shots.
against Florida State.
He took some shots in
Um,
that game.
Bryce, he did deal with broken or at least
Ribs in
bruised
Missouri.
ribs. Yeah, but I think he does. This is probably the play they're showing right here. I think that is the play where he bruised his ribs.
Well, I will say his Heisman moment, if you go back, was when they played Florida. And Florida wasn't good.
Oh yeah.
But those
Long
2
touchdown
runs that
run?
he had, guys,
Yeah, I'm watching one right now. I mean, yeah, the dude for one.
Washington's offensive line is not
Yeah.
great, but Daniel's mobility adds a different layer to their offense. Can make.
But I
him
want to say this
successful.
too. I want to say this too about Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I know I covered LSU. It was fun to watch and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm a fan of the guy, like the kid he is. He doesn't turn the ball over. Like even when he was at Arizona State, like he does not turn the ball over. And you talk about rookies, what's the biggest thing? Decision making. That's what made him elite. So I'm not saying that. I think this is a guy who can win a Super Bowl. Like I think he could be a quarterback of a Super Bowl winning team. I don't think that's far fetched, and you should expect that with the number 2 pick in the draft. Like that's the expectation for Washington.
Right.
Right. Yep. And they got a long way to go. But I tell you, we said it, Bryce, before you got back in here. The Commanders are setting themselves up really well. New ownership, new front office, new coaching staff. They are setting themselves up very, very well. Patriots pick is already in, so I think that tells you it's Drake Maye. They're setting themselves up really well for success. They bring in, I know a lot of Falcons fans in here. Dan Quinn's the head coach. I think it was a great hire. I think Dan Quinn is a great coach.
Yeah.
He'll have a big part in building that defense, remaking that defense. He's been there. So what? He blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. He was there and should have won it. And he says it every time he's asked about it. He should have won it. But you get him there. He brings in Cliff Kingsbury to be his offensive coordinator. He's going to have full reign of that offense, working under.
And I think that marriage is great.
I think it's a great pairing. Getting Jaden Daniels, I think Washington is setting themselves up in a really tough division, which I think top to bottom is the toughest division in the NFL. That NFC East.
Should be at least, yeah.
I mean, you could argue the AFC West, but that's really just because of the Chiefs.
Not the AFC
but
North.
they're setting themselves up really well for a lot of success in the next 5-10 years.
My last thing on Jaden Daniels is you watch how he plays, and like I know someone mentioned the Ole Miss hit, like Alex said the Ole Miss hit. Yeah, that was a rough one. And this is the biggest thing. I want to kind of parlay this to two different things, and I'm going to go back and refill my plate. How bad was that LSU defense? They only went 10-4 and 10-3. If LSU had a middle of the defense, they went natty. Hands down. Like it was the best offense. Folks don't realize, because a lot of LSU fans don't want to admit it, their offense was on par with what they did in 2019. It really, like, the numbers are almost identical, which is crazy to think about.
They just had defense.
If their defense, how bad was it? Literally Georgia Tech level. That's how bad it was. They had the same numbers. So that's all I got to say. All right, Patriots pick. Here we go, boys.
Is Robert Kraft already filming his next documentary?
I don't think it's about football either.
Drake Maye.
Okay. I'm going to say something, and then I'm going to go get some more food. I think this has bust potential. I think this is
really.
I do. I like Drake Maye, but I mean in the bust of the sense at number 3. Like, I think he is going to be a guy that at the very least is going to be a career backup. Like, that's his floor.
I just don't know if he's fired up to be the Patriots quarterback.
Yeah,
I'll just say that.
But you know what? I'm also going off the basis of Bill Belichick's no longer there, and that's probably a good thing for Drake Maye. So that's my piece. Yep. I'm going to get some more food, and then I'll be back.
I mean, if you really think about it, if you talk to any Patriots fans, if you know any actual real Patriots fans, not the ones who are just like, well, I was there when Brady. I was just a fan of Brady. They're still living in that Brady era. Can we find another option that could take over what he did? You're not going to find someone like him. So you got to, that's why this is why Belichick's gone. This is why they decided to go in different roads here, different ways, because they need a new team, a new identity. The Patriots have gone, with new head coach, they're going to sign a rookie quarterback. He's probably going to start day one. Honestly,
I think he should start day one.
They don't have anyone else to really play quarterback.
He should. New offensive coordinator for the Patriots, Alex Van Pelt. Don't know anything about him. Senior offensive assistant, somebody that we know who he is. Ben McAdoo, former Giants head coach. So we saw what he did with Daniel Jones. Hopefully he doesn't do the same thing to Drake Maye.
Gosh. Now the next question is, I have no idea who goes 4 here. Is it Marvin Harrison?
Yes. Marvin Harrison is definitely the best player still on the board. I don't think Arizona goes.
Marvin Harrison is probably the best player, I think, in this draft. Like, when we look back 10 years from now, I think Marvin Harrison is going to be the best player in the draft. And that's from someone who advocated for Malik Nabers to win the Biletnikoff, because Nabers had the better year, which he should have. Yep. But Marvin, this wide receiver class, the top 5 guys are all super good.
Loaded. It's like a 2019 NFL draft year, really. The receivers. So, When was the Justin Jefferson year? 2020?
Am I doing something wrong?
You weren't looking. You weren't watching the draft to know what he's talking about because he left a word out.
Oh,
Bryce, you missed it earlier. Ralph, should we show him what Jonesy commented earlier?
no.
I'll scroll up.
Just know it wasn't clean.
You want me to show it? I'll
No,
show it so you don't have to
show
scroll.
it. No, we said we weren't going to show
Probably
it. No.
not. Probably
Okay,
not.
yeah, I'm not. I just saw the comment. I'm not looking at that.
Bryce, I got a text from my dad asking if are you eating ramen noodles?
No. Made a taco bowl.
Should we make a wood counter for Jonesy? Because he's up to 2 already.
This is no.
I said don't show it.
All right, pick is in, boys.
The pick is in.
Yeah, it's got to be Marvin Harrison. If they're not trading out, they're gonna stick with Kyler Murray. I think that's the safe move, the smart move. Get him another weapon, another guy that, I like Kyler Murray. The mobility I think is very tough to defend.
Yeah,
it's very similar to Jaden Daniels. If he can keep himself healthy, he'll have a lot of success. I know he's already had the ACL injury. So I like that Arizona.
His first game back.
I think they're not going to go quarterback. I don't think they will go quarterback. We're about to find out. And JJ McCarthy's there at 5.
I'll be stunned, dude.
I wouldn't be because it's Jim Harbaugh.
I get that. But
if I'm Jim
The
Harbaugh,
new front office.
I'm drafting either Malik Nabers or Marvin Harrison.
Oh no!
I'm drafting.
Tech fans, close your eyes. Don't watch the draft. Just show Drake Maye running for a touchdown.
Well, they won that game, so they're not mad.
I haven't lost
would
to UNC, and I can't wait till the minister of
He threw
mayhem
a touchdown
comes
pass
to
left-handed.
Atlanta next year, or 2 years. My bad. Is Goodell taking the stage?
Here we go.
The pick is in.
All right, picks in. Who we going? I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm going Marvin Harrison. We've gone chalk with every pick. And we've been 3 for 3, to be fair.
Yep. There we go. Look, I mean, you can't deny that. Like that's it. It's
a good.
We were talking about this earlier, guys. If Marvin Harrison Jr. for some reason doesn't pan out, no one's going to look back at this Cardinals regime and say you made the wrong decision. It just didn't work out.
Nobody's going to say, why did you draft Marvin Harrison?
People don't get fired for this pick not working out. They get fired
with
for
the
taking
Bears.
Exactly.
Like nobody's going to ask, why did you take Caleb Williams?
I mean, no offense to Chicago fans.
Unless Jaden Daniels turns into a 2, 3, 4-time Super Bowl winner, that would be the only reason why.
Dude, get better internet. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Make sure to donate to Crowder Booth GoFundMe.
There were some tweets I saw early on about 2 months ago that was concerning about Marvin Harrison. Said he didn't do anything at his pro day. He didn't do anything at the actual combine.
Yeah.
And they were saying that he's hurt and he's not going to show it. I was like, no, that's just not the reason why. It's just because he rather don't look at my measurements and what I can do on a
watch
laser
the tape.
Exactly.
The last 2 seasons, he had 28 touchdowns, most in FBS.
I mean, like I know Dr. Bob.
If Jim Harbaugh takes Brock Bowers right here,
I think. Well, I'll say this: you've traded away your leading receiver in Keenan Allen. Okay, he's no longer in LA. You take Malik Nabers here. I'll give you a little. Here's the scouting report on Malik Nabers. An elite route runner, a guy that can create separation. He's got great. I wasn't going to call it bat to ball skills. I call it hand to ball skills. Do with that what you may, but not Drake Maye. Do with what you want with that. Take Malik Nabers here because you have to have a receiver. Now, I will say this too.
Brock Bowers is a receiver.
I'm not against that. And if Jim Harbaugh is going to try to implement what he wants to do in LA, the play
should be
action
Brock
with
Bowers.
Herbert with Bowers is going to be a ton of fun to watch. But I don't know. Dev says, appreciate you watching, Dev. Joe Alt next. Honestly, too, I don't think you can go wrong there either because
Nope.
you've got a franchise quarterback. Can we all agree? Like Justin
Yes.
Herbert can be their guy, but I don't know.
If he didn't have one of the most incompetent head coach, he'd have at least one playoff win.
Yeah, I know you guys don't want to talk about that guy, but
That's why I didn't say his name.
I don't know, man. I mean,
Why did they show a Ohio State Toledo highlight? That tells me nothing.
are you watching Ohio State Toledo highlights right now?
No, I'm watching
because that's the guy for that's
ABC
the
draft
number
coverage.
1 corner in the draft this year.
They also showed
Oh,
Kamari
yeah.
Lassiter
Quinyon Mitchell.
pretending to cover him in the Peach Bowl.
He torched Georgia, torched them.
If he doesn't get hurt in that game, they're winning the national title.
Wait 1 second. Now you just ignited the Tech fan base right there.
I want you to know, Bryce. My mom just called me.
Get off the
And
phone, Leslie.
she
Go
got-
home.
No, she's at the beach. She texted me, "Did you know the NFL draft was on?"
Shut the stream down. Shut it down. We're done.
Best available number 4 is Joe Alt.
Harbaugh's taking his time here. Dr.
I will
Bob,
say this. I bet you Minnesota's on.
Harbaugh-esque-
You think Minnesota's on the phone right here?
I'm sure they are. A
Bryce,
more Harbaugh-esque thing, though, Dr. Bob, would be for him to draft JJ McCarthy. That would be more Harbaugh-esque than to take Joe Alt.
The thing
He should be
is-
fired immediately if he drafts JJ McCarthy at number 5.
Jonesy,
Hey.
I'm begging. Listen to the podcast coming out tomorrow. I am begging.
Yeah. Jonesy doesn't even respect the guy to spell his name correctly, so that tells you all he needs to know. Why would Minnesota
Me
trade
neither.
up here, Dev? Well, here's the thought process:
They don't have a
is
quarterback.
they don't have a quarterback unless they're going to roll with who's their
They
backup.
did sign Sam Darnold.
Sam
They signed
Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
So they don't have a
For a
quarterback.
multi-year contract.
Exactly what I said.
So they don't have a quarterback. And Atlanta signed Taylor Heineke last year, and we saw how that worked out. I don't know.
There was rumors that Minnesota would trade at the 5, and they would send or LA would send Herbert there, and they would get McCarthy at 5 and stay there, I guess, or I forgot what it was. But
No,
when I
they
sent
would-
you that video. It was
They would trade whatever number their pick is. I don't know.
23 and
a
11.
first next year, and I think a
Yeah.
second this year and next year for Herbert, I think.
and they would just take McCarthy. And later in
What,
the draft.
what are we doing here?
What?
What?
Just
Are
make
both
sure,
y'all
Ralph.
editing that thing?
Yeah, don't touch the thing real quick, Ralph. Use the top one. Use the top one.
I'm not doing. What am I doing? I'm having it. I'm editing it. So
Yeah, don't
Dev,
touch the.
Dev,
don't
I say
use
yes.
the top one.
I am.
Dev
Why?
says, "Is McCarthy worth trading up to 5? Is he that much better than Penix or Nix, who would likely be drafted later?"
Oh,
I
I
say
don't think
yes.
so. I don't think so, but they
I
do.
definitely think he's better than Nix.
Yeah,
I definitely think that.
I think the biggest thing with Penix is injury concerns, and if you can get past that, like the kid can sling it in the right system.
his mechanics are kind of goofy.
True.
So you're
He's a winner.
I think Penix
So is McCarthy,
is-
though. That's the whole thing with McCarthy.
I think Penix is a big project. I don't think that doesn't mean you
McCarthy.
don't take him. I think McCarthy's a more complete player right now at this point. And Bo Nix, I just don't really think he's an NFL quarterback. I love him. He's a great athlete. He's a good player.
Physically
Just don't think
or
he's an
emotionally?
NFL quarterback. What's worse?
Emotionally, I think.
I love him because he beat Alabama. It doesn't take much. All right, the pick is in, and we're still at commercial. Come on, ESPN.
Bryce, you had some fans try to get Will mad earlier. when you said Alabama, former Alabama player Jameer Gibbs, they were saying former Oregon Duck Bo Nix.
Oregon
A little
legend.
mad. Oregon legend Bo Nix.
I mean, I think Oregon would consider him a legend.
That's what I said. He won a New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah. Torch Liberty for no reason.
Would have made the playoff if he could have beat Washington once.
Yeah,
LSU is the first school to have 5 quarterbacks selected in the top 3 of the NFL draft.
I know 3 of them.
Daniels.
Actually, no, I don't. No, I only know 2 of them.
Yeah, you do. Daniels, Burrow, Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, yeah, Burrow.
Burt Jones, and Y.A. Tittle.
Oh, Y.A. Tittle.
The Tittler himself.
That's the GOAT right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was... Dude, I thought that it just cut to the pick already. And I looked up and I saw Drake Maye walking. I was like...
Harbaugh got his khakis on tonight.
Absolutely does.
He's like, oh, I'm on TV.
Let's talk about this, though. Would you stand out here at the draft 500 rows back and like watch this? You couldn't pay me to do that.
No, the year they had it in Nashville.
Whoa. You guys see this? The Chargers turned away trade offer calls for Justin Herbert. Who wanted that's intriguing.
Minnesota
did.
I would say Atlanta. I would say Atlanta called. New England probably called. I think Washington did call. I think that was a very strong.
Right.
Or Brock Bowers. That was actually a reported rumor that Washington, or at least their new owner, came out and I think name dropped Justin Herbert.
All right, here we go.
Who are they picking? Or Bryce says Nabers.
I'm going Malik.
Ralph.
I said Joe Alt.
I'm
gonna go Brock Bowers. Let's all be different.
Yeah,
Joe Alt. Not a bad pick. Because I'll tell you this, if you're gonna keep the franchise quarterback, if those rumors are true, Will, you go get a guy who looks like that video right there looks like that he just turned 12 years old. But first off, dude, he's 12.
He looks like 12 years old, dude.
Oh my! Who's that girl sitting next to him? Is that his sister?
We're going to stop that right there. Joe Alt.
Good pick. I think it's a great pick. I think he is the best offensive lineman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about this real quick. I want to talk about this because now here's a situation where a quarterback could be on the board. JJ McCarthy has gone public and said that he could see himself, and from what his talks conversations, going to New York. Here's the situation, folks, because we're obviously one of our Falcons fans. Will, I want Dallas Turner. I want Dallas Turner at 8, or I want to trade back. I am going to tell you, though, right now, how much fun would it be to have Malik Nabers in that offense?
I'm for it.
I mean,
I'm all for it.
Because this is the thing. You could go get, what's the edge of Chop Robinson or early in the second?
Here's the problem. Tennessee's at 7. They're not taking a quarterback.
Mm-mm. They're rolling with
They're going to roll with Will Levis.
See, now I'm talking myself into wanting to go offense here.
They're going Dallas Turner.
I think Tennessee won't give the Falcons the opportunity. I think Dallas Turner, also like Jared Verse, even though he slipped during the draft process.
Yeah, I'm with Dev here. I could see anything from McCarthy to Nabers right here because this is a situation where Daniel Jones, you just gave him that fat contract. He's not worth it. He's just not. Falcons take Malik.
They have to.
If Malik Nabers is there, man, you
can't pass that.
I know I'm saying this, and I want a pass rusher so bad, but do you do you realize? Because this is the thing too. You remember Chris Braswell at Alabama? You can get him in the 3rd round, 2nd or 3rd round. You can get Chop Robinson if he slips from Penn State, another solid pass rusher.
Bryce, you gave me flack for saying it. You gave me flack for saying it. I like Rome Odunze. I like him a lot.
I like Neighbors better than Romadunzi, but it's probably because I watch Neighbors every single week and didn't, it's
You're
just
telling
different.
me if for some reason that if at number 8 Brock Bowers is now available, you don't send it on him?
The Falcons are not taking Brock Bowers.
They got Kyle Pitts. Like they have to show Kyle Pitts in this last year of his deal that they're going to use him. And look, if you can score 50, you don't need an edge rusher.
I mean,
Y'all better get ready to clip this at pick number 8 because
Giants
Will and I are going to get
the
animated.
pick is
Yes, we'll be celebrating. I'll probably mute because I'll be screaming.
This is huge.
I hope
Look at this.
hope to celebrate. Listen, so here is my relationship with the Falcons.
Can we hold this real quick? Just hold this real
Yep.
quick. Okay.
Yep, let's see who the Giants
Did
pick.
you see that Daniel Jones has no guaranteed money in his contract after this season,
Oh,
which means you can cut him scot-free.
Are they going to take McCarthy?
If they take JJ McCarthy here,
Or do they take Penix
no
and give him a
shot,
year
I think.
and give him a year?
I think JJ McCarthy because of the New York media. I think he can handle it. Look at him. Another 12-year-old. Little pretty boy out there getting ready to play quarterback in New York. Is that the next Zach Wilson we're looking at right there?
Oh gosh.
No, because it's for the Giants, not the Jets.
Look at that. Leak the chain. Bring it to Atlanta. Bring it
Look at
to
Brian
Atlanta.
Dable.
You got 2 watches on?
Old
Yeah,
cue
dude.
ball Brian Dable.
He got all that Raising Cane's money.
You gotta respect the grind, dude.
Who y'all want the Falcons to get now that Alt went 5? Kendrick. Have not heard from you in a while, my friend. We're going to talk about that right after this Giants pick. Over 100 people watching live. Like the stream. Head over to YouTube. Get your comments in.
And here comes old Goodell.
All right, let's go. Picks. Who we guessing here?
I'm saying Neighbor.
I'm
No,
saying
no.
McCarthy.
Penix.
I'm saying McCarthy.
I'm going McCarthy.
I'm going Penix.
I just have a feeling, dude.
The Giants are
Neighbors.
notorious for making the wrong pick.
Malik
Malik
Neighbors.
It's a
Hey,
good pick.
I know, look,
made
the
the right
last
pick.
LSU receiver they took paid off pretty well for him.
They made that's the right pick.
It's the
No
right
doubt
pick.
about it.
Atlanta.
And what they've said publicly, they've said the right things publicly about Daniel Jones. I think Dable believes in him. Dable really likes him.
Yeah.
I think personality-wise, they match up very similarly. We just don't see that with Jones, and we don't think that because he came from Duke. You just don't think that he's kind of got that edge, but I think he does. I think he's a really tough competitor.
Look back at 2022. I mean, he had a
He
great
likes
year.
to run. He'll lower his shoulder
Guys,
scrambling.
his floor, he could be what this route's hilarious, by the way.
This first round.
Kid from Army just didn't know what was going on. Thanks for playing. Take the check and go home back to West
The
Point.
thing is, Daniel Jones can get.
Hey, I'm in this clip, by the way. Texas A&M. I'm right at the bottom of your screen right there. Anyways,
Daniel
I'm
Jones
Why did I see
is
that?
good enough to
Oh,
at least have the Giants on the cusp of the playoffs. Which,
Yeah.
and it's like I said before, that division is really tough because the Cowboys are a great regular season team. The Eagles
are usually
are wagging right now. So if you can just be competitive, competing for that playoffs,
Oh no, not Auburn getting cooked. Oh no.
that playoff spot.
Oh no.
When didn't Auburn get cooked? That's
Oh
the question.
no, the whole defense.
But yeah,
Arkansas defense got cooked,
this
too.
is such a smart pick. This is such a smart
Now, we obviously agree on this as a good pick. What does Tennessee do with 7 here? Do they go?
pick. Brock Bowers, Roma Dunzy.
They got to get him a receiver, man. He
Yeah,
needs
surely.
somebody. Do
It's
you
got
go
D-Hop.
Bowers?
D-Hop was
We
good
should-
last year.
He was. They also had Julio for a little bit too, if you remember that.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know about this. I think I like Brock Bowers here. It's just it's bringing back like Derrick Henry vibes when they drafted him in the second round. It's just he's big and super athletic.
Yeah.
To me, he has been the most athletic person in college football for the last. No, they shouldn't trade this pick. I think they can go any way and get a good draft pick on this.
I don't know.
But who's gonna go to 7 and take who?
Olu from Penn State.
But who would trade up to get that pick?
No, I'm saying that's who the Titans should take.
No,
I think they go O-line right here.
They were
Alt is head and shoulders the best O-line prospect, but I think
I don't
Olu,
think but I don't think you trade out of this pick. I think this pick's too good for them at 7. They can go either way, offense or defense. And I feel like
they're in a really tough spot because it almost feels like whoever they pick here feels like a reach.
Well, I
You
mean,
think about a Dunzy.
a Dunzy
like
would be a
little-
reach here.
A little bit of a reach.
I think Brock Bowers is the
Bowers.
It's not
Do
a
you
reach.
take a tight end at 7?
The Falcons took him at 4, or what is it, 5?
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I mean,
Pitts is a hybrid, but yeah.
but so is Brock Bowers. Like, Brock
And that
Bowers
didn't
can
work
play with
out.
I don't know. There's
I'll tell you this: if the Titans take Brock Bowers, that might shake things up in my
that's
fantasy
a 6.
league.
Oh, the pick is in. So Titans are staying at 7. I'm gonna go and say I think they go.
Hey, if they take Dallas Turner here, I'm trading back if I'm Atlanta.
Yeah, you can't knee jerk and go verse right here. I don't think.
That's what I was asking, Bryce. Is that Tennessee's in a spot where they can go offense or defense and then be okay? I don't think there's really. I mean, they could reach and obviously get someone, but if they're comfortable taking that pick, they're okay with it. They're not trading out of 7.
Banned.
Dead. Redskins are dead.
No matter what happens, I'm not buying Madden.
You
don't want to play with Jaden Daniels in Madden 25?
I'll play with him on the 2022 Classic offense in NCAA.
I don't want to play the same game for the last 4 years. I'm tired of playing.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
Bryce, who you going with here at 7?
I don't know. I'm just trying to drink Coke Zero, man.
Bruce Soda is so bad for you. One day they'll get your name right.
Well, I've been wrong on 4 in a row?
Really?
Well, I got. Who did you have? Wait, you had 4 in a row?
4 in a row wrong. I got the first 3 was right. But also, I was kind of just trying to pick.
Who'd you have Arizona taking?
Okay, sorry, 3 in a row. Yeah, I had.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I thought you had that right.
Yeah, you got 2 wrong in a row. You got 2 in a row.
I kind of said Penix just to be different for the Giants.
Well, you are different.
So Tennessee, I'm gonna go
AUTISM.
Okay.
Gosh.
Give me an A.
Bryce, did you see that from NFL now? AJ Brown got his extension today. 3 years, $96
million.
84 guaranteed.
I mean,
we know what position the Eagles are not going after today.
Dude, they're taking anybody from Georgia. Kamari Lassiter, Javon Bullard in the 3rd round. I actually think that's a really good pick for somebody. Javon Bullard, I wouldn't mind if the Falcons took him.
In what round? You say 3rd round?
Third round.
So he's the number one safety on the board.
What?
No, he's not. There's no way.
According to ESPN, he is.
He's the number one safety on the board. This is a weak safety class then.
Wait. Did the Titans just reach like nobody's ever reached before?
Are you reading Twitter?
I'm reading the comments. Dev and Gavin.
There's no way JC Latham just went to the Titans.
There is no way. No way.
That's a reach. That's the example of a reach.
Oh my gosh, they took him.
The Titans found a way. They found a way to screw this up.
I was saying that they really could go either way and it not be a bad pick. Well, I was wrong.
I don't think JC Latham's a bad player. I just don't.
No,
How do you
he's
take
not
him
the
at
number
7?
7 overall pick.
Well, this is the thing.
You take
Your needs dictate it. Tennessee felt like they needed an offensive lineman, and they were hoping that Alt was going to be there. I don't, to be honest with you guys, I thought that Olu Fashanu would have been a better pick here. I thought he was
I
the
agree.
highly regarded player.
Bryce, according to ESPN, Javon Bullard is the number 1 safety. Tyler Newbin from Minnesota is number 2.
See,
Mikey
you had
Smith
me.
is number 6.
You lost me at E ESPN.
Yeah.
I'm just going off what ESPN says.
JC Latham, they've got him as the okay. They have him as the 5th best available player.
They also have
Mel
number 3
Kiper
overall
does.
tackle.
Where does Field Yates?
But Dr. Bob is right here. Latham's a guy. Watch him be a 12-year starter. Like watch him just be like
He probably will.
a couple Pro Bowls.
He probably will.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Let's just,
JC
let's just
Latham.
finalize.
So back to what I was saying. My relationship with the Falcons. I've been in on the Falcons, and then we get to the draft, and I give up. It's happened more than once.
Yeah.
If they screw this up, this hat is disappearing. It's going to be buried probably until
There
the draft
are
next
a
year.
lot of disappointed Titans fans, by the way. I don't know if anyone saw the Titans fan in the back throw his hat on the ground and start yelling no. He was dead sure on them someone getting someone else there.
All right, here we go. Everyone in the comments, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whatever you're watching on, get your comments in here. Who's
did the
Atlanta taking?
Falcons take here? Gotta take turn.
I got to go Dallas Turner.
Gotta
For
be.
you.
No, it's for that interview I did with him down in Mobile. Jonesy, seriously, I want to know, why do you not want Turner here? Do you feel like it's a reach? Like I'm not even coming after you.
He
Like
wants
what?
an
Like
extra first-round pick.
well, it depends on what you view the gap between a Dallas Turner and a Jared Verse is, or a Byron Murphy, because pairing Byron Murphy inside with Grady Jarrett is not a bad idea either.
I said it last year. The Falcons should have taken
They should have taken Jalen Carter. Oh, hands down.
Jalen
they should have
Carter.
taken Jalen Carter, yeah. No, it's not.
and
even a question.
then, hindsight being 2020, obviously, but Grady Jarrett gets hurt. Then you have Jalen Carter. Phil just slides right into that spot, and
No,
you don't lose anything up front.
Dev, I don't think Latu is going to be the guy that everyone thinks he's going to be.
That's coming off hours of film by Ralph right there. I don't think he's going to be good either, but yeah.
I saw his Senior Bowl work. He was getting worked by some of these offensive linemen. He really was. He's long, and he does not.
He's a
use
good
his
story.
length.
Whoa, the Falcons pick is already in.
So
Gavin, Nabers is already drafted.
Gavin don't know nobody. I see him as that trash ball. I don't even know what that means.
Big B's.
Well, this is the thing. Atlanta's new defense is going to have 2 interior defensive linemen.
Let me tell you,
with Jimmy
Dr.
Lake.
Bob, wrong, because Aaron Donald was not a bust.
Well, he's saying that
You're just
it's a
saying in
high bust
general?
position in general. Like Aaron Donald's an anomaly.
Yep.
Look at
Gavin, Malik Nabers went to the Giants.
Well, they are just high.
The
hopes
pick is
over there.
in. They're not showing that on ABC. I need to get off
Yeah.
this ABC feed.
So we're thinking Dallas Turner here.
Oh, there's
Right.
college baseball on ESPNU. That's what I'd rather watch.
I think Dallas Turner. Like, I mean, and I will say this too, and it's exactly how I
This
felt about
score
Marvin
cannot
Harrison.
be real.
If Dallas Turner, if Dallas Turner doesn't work out, no one's going to be mad because it's like mad at the
On
Falcons.
3 is saying the Falcons took Michael Penix. I'm not even lying to you. There's no way.
Do not.
There's no way. Oh, no.
Okay. Also, Bryce, I know you love the NBA. The Magic are beating the Cavaliers by 40 right now in the fourth quarter.
Yes. Oh my.
No way they just took Michael Penix at number 8. There is no chance that they just wasted the number 8 pick.
Franchise.
JJ McCarthy. Might as well show
For
Dallas
the
Turner,
I know I
'cause
listen,
he
I
ain't
know I
going
said
either.
Malik Nabers. I know that I said Malik Nabers earlier.
Oh,
The inability for this team.
well,
Yeah, no, the Falcons. Look, the
they're
Falcons.
showing Dallas Turner, or is that Dallas Turner? I'm guessing it is.
That's Michael
Oh, no,
Penix. That's Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Penix.
Is-
You are kidding me.
Kirko Beans and Dallas and Michael Penix, man, what a duo!
Kirk Cousins under contract for 4 years.
That is. The
I did
most
it.
wild-
Somebody said it in the comments. I think it was Tobias. Or somebody said it.
Woo.
I jinxed it. I jinxed it. Somebody told me I jinxed it.
You're kidding me, guys, right? There's no way.
I do not understand. How can this franchise continuously they cannot keep doing this.
Will, do it, man. Just you want to rant for a little bit, Will?
They cannot keep doing this.
Oh my God.
How are they always, every single year, losing the draft? The last time the
I'm
Falcons won
about
the
to get
draft,
emotional on Twitter.
the last time that the Falcons won the draft was when they took Matt Ryan. It's the last time. There's no way.
Atlanta is drafting for the future.
There is no way.
The Kyle BR.
There's no way. This is a joke, right?
This has to be a joke.
Oh my
This
God,
has
it's
gotta
not.
be a joke.
It's not. It's legitimately not.
Yeah, it's Penix.
I'm ready to break something.
Yes! Y'all
That-
could have got off the train at the same time I did and get out that bull crap. Gone.
I want to preface it with this.
How
Michael
can they
Penix-
keep
Hold
doing
on,
this?
Will, I'm gonna let Bryce go. Then I'm gonna let you go. So I'm gonna let y'all two talk. You're the Falcons fans in here.
Listen. I'm dead serious here. This is a joke. This franchise is a joke. Well, I apologize. I don't want to come after someone who's close to you that works for the franchise.
You're
But I'm
not. She
telling you,
doesn't actually work for the franchise. She just works for the owner. So you can say whatever the four-letter word you want about the franchise.
I like Michael Penix. I do not like him at 8. I don't understand it. The timeline that we were all thinking was either this. Will, am I wrong? Am I wrong here? The timeline that we were all thinking is if you sign Kirk Cousins, Arthur Blank is trying to win right now. Is that wrong? No, that was
Correct.
the idea. Go get a guy like Dallas Turner, trade back. Instead, you waste a pick on a quarterback that does have a high probability of getting injured, does have a high probability of not working out. For what? For him to sit for 4 years? Do they think this is a Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers situation? I mean, what is the thought process? I'm dead serious about this. Arthur Blank has to go. Like, you don't have to say anything. That's my take. He's got to go. This is a joke. This is an absolute joke. This franchise is unserious. I do not understand it. I would love to eat my words, but this is some of the biggest bull I have ever seen. It doesn't even follow the logic of what we've been doing this offseason, this Falcons fans. It doesn't. You've been building to this to go. You didn't even sign an edge rusher. So what are you going to put Lorenzo Carter and Arnold Ebiketie out there again?
Yeah, we saw how great that worked.
This has nothing to do with Michael Penix. I'm sorry. Michael Penix, I wouldn't have minded if Atlanta would take him.
No,
I just don't want him at 8.
it's not.
Why do you do this? Why do you do this every single year? This franchise refuses. You know who should be pissed? And Will's internet's really down bad right now. You know who should be pissed? Grady Jarrett. because Grady Jarrett
Yep.
cannot get help on this defense. They just won't give it to him. It is unbelievable to me how this franchise done this. And Dev, look, I mean, the way that Kirk's contract is set up, we have an easy out for year 3. By then, Penix will be ready to go. He could be a franchise quarterback. That's the thought process. Of course, like I understand the thought process. I just don't agree. Like I just wholeheartedly do not agree with this. This is absolutely ridiculous to me. I don't understand why you do this. Like, I can't believe this. Guys, I don't have the audio on. What are they saying about this?
I don't know. I don't either.
I was
First
just,
of
when
all,
y'all had me on screen. I was listening to Kyle Pitt's live reaction to him getting picked, which is obviously he's probably not going to do anything crazy to say, this is a horrible pick or anything like that. But you can say he was shocked by the pick, I think.
Will, it's just so easy to take the edge rusher. It's so easy.
They were literally setting up for it. You said it. They don't sign one. You sign Kirk Cousins to a 4-year contract. Why on earth are you taking a win now quarterback who's how old? 33, 34 on a multi-year contract? Why are you taking a quarterback at 8?
Let me add this
There's
in too.
Far
Let me
bigger
add this
needs
in.
than quarterback.
Let
You've
me
got
add this too, though.
The Bears pick is in, by the way.
Good for them. Good for them. We're about to rant for the next 20 minutes about this. I understand that Penix is not free at round 2. Are we so sure that Michael Penix is going to be better than Michael Pratt? Going to be better than Spencer Rattler? Going to be better than Bo Nix?
Like,
if you have
the
a
Bears,
quarterback,
Chicago is going to win a Super Bowl before Atlanta wins one.
who did they just take?
Roma Dunze. So you know what? They got the franchise quarterback and their franchise receiver. Guess who also had a franchise quarterback and a franchise receiver? The Atlanta Falcons. And they said, let's just double up on it because who knows? And now Taylor Heineke, you got to trade him. So we're just going to roll with Lorenzo Carter, Norcross legend out there for no freaking reason. Stupid, unserious franchise. I might become a Saints fan. Dead serious about that.
I got out at the right time.
This makes no sense.
And I know y'all think I was joking about it. I was serious. I think after the debacle of a season this past year and how unserious this, I'm sorry, I'm reading a tweet from a person who works inside the Falcons is Michael, make no mistake about it. Kirk Cousins is QB1. Terry Font has said it. Raheem Morris has said that. Drafting Penix does not change that.
No one cares. No one's going to sit. We're not talking training camp storylines. I don't care. I don't care about that. Dev, look. Dev is one of the most level-headed viewers we have, truthfully, and I love it. He goes, but I don't hate this. I see the logic behind it. We'll see how it pans out. And then I want to go back to this right here. He goes, I agree. I don't think Kurt is a bridge quarterback. No, he was the guy that was supposed to get you to the playoffs in the Super Bowl. This team is set up to win now. Dallas is the pick. It was the pick. It's the pick. And you know what's going to hurt now is if Dallas Turner becomes a consistent Pro Bowler and a multi-sack year guy. Double-digit sack guy.
He will.
The Vikings are trading at number 10.
I have LSU beat reporters texting me, knowing that I'm a Falcons fan, freaking out. Like, are you okay?
Minnesota is on the clock, by the way.
Sorry, I'm making a very important meme right now. And I think it perfectly describes how we feel. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see whenever I get done making it.
I fixed the order, Bryce, already.
Where is it? Where is it at? This is just ridiculous.
This was like the NBA draft, where teams announce the trade after they've made the pick. So what it really was is Atlanta was picking for Minnesota.
And Minnesota
and Minnesota's picking for Atlanta. Like that's what I would like to happen.
But since the Vikings are taking JJ McCarthy.
No, they're not.
Bleacher Report
What are
this
we
week,
doing?
9 seconds ago, that
Like, what are we
the
doing?
Vikings have traded up to number 10 and are drafting JJ McCarthy.
Some guy just asked if he could hop on the show.
Why not?
I've never met him in my life.
Oh,
How do we feel about this?
I don't know how I feel about this.
This guy seems knowledgeable. Jason, I'm in shambles, Jason. I'm freaking out over here because Atlanta has pissed away its opportunity to take a hold of the NFC South.
I just don't understand the logic. I don't understand the logic of taking a quarterback when you sign Kirk Cousins. You tamper to get Kirk Cousins.
You tamper. You lose potential draft picks later in this draft or in future drafts to go get a guy, sign him to one of the craziest contracts that he really hasn't performed to the level to. Like, we can all agree about that. Atlanta had to overpay and pay market value for a guy that is not an elite quarterback. Is he top 10, top 15? Sure. Can he win you some playoff games? I believe so. Jonesy, don't be a rock dweller. Can Penix still return back to college? Nobody can return to college right now.
Once you declare, you're gone. Bye. Look, and I think this is a good comment. This is true.
Well, the only thing I disagree with is putting the losing score first, but yeah.
I agree. I agree with that part too. But yeah, they're taking JJ McCarthy.
I can't believe. I can't believe we're doing this.
It's a wild pick. I mean, it truly is. I know that's.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. What is happening?
Bryce.
Will Maurice Jones-Drew return this season to Jags? Thoughts?
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. Well, welcome back from Italy, by the way. Welcome back.
From the land of Italia. Yeah, hey, this is good news, Will. At least we didn't have to wait till September to get a reality check.
That's very true for you.
I might not even watch. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with team fandom. Seriously, I think I'm going to just enjoy the sport. I think I'm going to enjoy playing, fantasy football because this is a joke. It's an absolute joke. The roster construction, and I will tell you this too. Yeah, JJ McCarthy went 10 to Minnesota. Okay, whatever. Because you know what, they
rather
needed
had
a quarterback.
McCarthy. I would have rather had McCarthy.
I'd rather had Dallas Turner.
How do you make a slide?
What you need?
I made a meme that accurately describes how we feel. Okay, hold on. I figured it out.
Austin Bodley, I'm about to drive my car through the bins.
We do not condone this type of violence, but if you are frustrated, please use other manners.
Hold on. Wait. Ralph, what are you talking about condoning violence?
I've never done anything.
You talk about it.
I talk about it.
You're going to burn the bins down.
No, I had no reason to.
Can I not save this? Here we go. Oh, wait, never mind.
What are the legitimate odds that we look back at this and we laugh? Like, laughing like, oh, he turned out to be good. Like, that's what I want to know. Like, I want some type of expert analyst to tell me why this is a good pick.
Oh, man.
You talk about beating your fan base down. That's exactly, and this is the thing too. You have arguably, I would say one of the top 5 best stadiums in terms of into this century, not atmosphere or anything, but just stadiums in the league. your attendance is suffering. Like, that's not a secret. Nobody shows up to the games.
I mean, this is terrorism. It's no other way to describe it. This is an act of terror.
Like, did they just like trying to cobble together random defensive pieces every year?
I don't know. And it's every time they sign or they draft, or I don't even say draft, they sign a defensive player, Bryce, it feels like it's a guy who was good about 3 or 4 years ago. You know, like
I mean,
Lorenzo
I'll give them
Carter.
credit. They hit with David Onyemata last year. Like, that was a good pickup
he was a
in
good
free agency.
pick.
But Ryan Nielsen's not here anymore. So now it's a weird fit. I don't get that, man. This is, and maybe this is, and I want people to answer this question for me, okay? Because I do agree with Dev here. Dev says, I'd rather have traded back and give up Turner for an extra fourth or third. This is my logic with the whole, the Falcons pick. I strongly believe they are one of the few franchises that had Penix valued that high. And I think if you talk to other GMs, they'd be like, like, I got notifications says, they shocked the world.
This is literally a pick you make if you have your team set and you have a team that can win the Super Bowl this year, but you have an aging quarterback. But this is the pick you can make when you can win the Super Bowl this year. And you just,
or if you have nothing,
fall into the number 8 pick.
If you have nothing,
right?
You're like, we got to have a quarterback. It doesn't make sense for a team that feels like their offense can be a Super Bowl worthy offense.
You cheat
and needs to short the defense,
and you tamper to sign a quarterback to a multi-year contract to turn around and draft one at 8. Why do that? Why sign Kirk Cousins if you were going to draft Penix at 8? Why? Because they didn't decide this today. Like they had to be like, well,
the pick was in like the first 2
minutes.
minutes. That's what's scary.
We should take a quarterback at number 8. So what? We drafted Kirk Cousins. He can sit behind Kirk Cousins and learn. That's great for teams that aren't in the situations of the Falcons. I said this last year, and I'll say it again. When Tom Brady retired, there was just a lot of question marks about the Buccaneers because they dominated the division. The Falcons of the other 3 teams in the division looked primed and ready to step in and take control of the division. And all you got to do is win 8 games and you win the division. That's how bad this division is. And here's what's really frustrating about this. Like you said, there is a number of players on the board that would have made the Falcons a better team picking at number 8. Michael Penix does not do that. Does not do that at all.
But, Will, here's the thing. If you don't sign Kirk Cousins, I understand you have to reach here and get Michael Penix. I get
I'm
that.
with you.
I don't understand. Troy Olu Fashanu would have been better picks there. Because Jake Matthews is getting old.
The Jets are going to take Olu right here, by the way. On 3 has got some.
Brock Bowers would have been a better pick.
On 3 is on it with their pick. They're way earlier than everyone else's.
The Jets probably take Dallas Turner right here, I think. But it's the Jets. We can't count on them being smart. I don't know why we counted on the Falcons being smart.
What is the payoff? Like, that's the question. I think, and I'll tell you this. If you're a reporter, and I know several that are covering the Falcons, the question I want to ask is, what was the gap? And they're not going to give you a real answer, but this is the question. What was the gap? Did they really value Penix over Bo Nix, over the other quarterbacks available? Because then the question has to become, Why didn't you take JJ McCarthy? If you wanted to take a quarterback, why didn't you take JJ McCarthy? Now, I will say this, Will. Here is the one thing that has me excited about Michael Penix is that in what Raheem Morris wants to do, you think about what they did out in LA with Matthew Stafford, and they had some weapons, and they wanted to spread you out and throw it all over the yard. It makes sense in that form or fashion. Now, I will tell you this. In about 24 hours, I might feel differently about this pick. Because if Atlanta can somehow get some defensive line or edge help, and remember, they have 2 third-round picks. This can be solved if they take defense with at least 2 of the next 3 picks. You have to do it because AJ Terrell is coming up in a contract year. That's a corner you can't afford to lose. So you got to have another corner that can play opposite of him. You need to go find some type of player that can disrupt the passer. Yes, this is an offense-driven league, but when you have a guy that can get after it, think about those elite guys. They must have not valued that like that.
If you're drafted in the top 10, 9 times out of 10, something has gone wrong. Something is wrong with your team.
Jets took Fashanu right here. Good pick by them, by the way. Protect Aaron Rodgers. I'm cool with that.
Something major is wrong. You drafting in the top 10, you have to make your team better. The Falcons didn't. Every other team that drafted in the top 10 made their team better. The Jets just made their team better, taking Olu Fashanu at 11. They made their team better. That's what's irritating. If you wanted, they could have traded. That's what's crazy. They could have traded back and probably gotten him. I don't think he would have gone past 12. I don't think he'd have gone past Denver. But there's you can't. Maybe I just don't want to listen to it, but you can't tell me the logic of that. You're gonna break the rules to sign Kirk Cousins, sign a 33-year-old quarterback to a multi-year contract, all this money, just to take a quarterback at number 8? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. Especially with the other needs. It's like I said, it's a good pick if you have a roster that is ready to win the Super Bowl this year. The Falcons do not. Falcons do not at all.
I'm working on a guest, by the way, to talk about this, but we're going to keep going through this draft.
Somebody that knows more than me, because I don't.
I'll tell you this is the kind of pick. I'll tell you this is the problem. This is the kind of pick that makes you pick in the top 10 again next year.
Yep. You think if Kirk Cousins that Achilles? Okay, Austin says he's 36. I don't know how old he is, but.
I'll even say this, Will. I'm a massive
Kendrick. I agree 100% with the second part. Tied with Daniels. I don't know about that. I think you're higher on Penix than me, but it doesn't mean an immediate need we have this year. Absolutely, it doesn't. When you pick it in the top 10, you got to get a team need. You got to plug a hole with somebody that's going to come in and play right away.
Because you don't want to be picking there the next year. It's the whole point.
If you don't sign, if the Falcons don't sign Kirk Cousins, I'm all for drafting Michael Penix. I'm all for it. I like Michael Penix. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't understand from the Falcons' perspective of
the 2 words, Will, that Kirk Cousins said at his opening presser was stability and security, and you just drafted his replacement. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
What if his he's 36 coming off an Achilles injury. That is major. If he doesn't recover, if he doesn't get back to what he was, the Falcons are going to be right back here in the top 10 because I like Penix. I think the mental makeup is exactly what you want it to be. His mechanics, maybe it's just because he's left-handed, but and I don't really even know what I'm looking at quarterback mechanics. They look kind of goofy to me. I think they need some work.
Bo Nix to the Broncos.
Oh my gosh. Okay. John Elway, thank you for not letting the Falcons be the laughing stock of the first round. Thank you. And this is an Auburn fan saying this. That pick makes less sense than Michael Penix. Bo Nix, a first-round quarterback.
Okay, so hey, here's some stuff on the Falcons.
Falcons and Broncos will be back in the top 10 next year.
Terry Fontenot was making this is strictly rumor, okay? Terry Fontenot was making leapfrog arm motions, whatever the heck that looks like, when he was talking with Arthur Blank. People are now saying that could potentially mean they try to trade back up into the first round. Remember, they have 2 third-round picks and a second-round pick. I don't know.
I would lean to think he is.
Also, no defensive player has been picked in the first 11 picks. That's crazy.
That makes me think that he was very animatedly stating his case for why Michael Penix should be drafted. I don't really know what leapfrog means.
Me too, Dev. This pick, I want to say this pick makes no sense for the Falcons. He won't see the field for at least 2 seasons. And even then, Atlanta would have to eat $25 million in dead cap to move from Cousins.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. You think about the money you have to commit to a top 10 pick on top of this.
So stupid, man. It's so stupid.
You need an edge rusher.
Will, you also have to get a look at Penix before his rookie contract is up.
Exactly. Like, is it a great insurance plan for Kirk Cousins? Absolutely. But why did you sign him to a 4-year contract? If you want an insurance plan, what? I don't see the logic. Jonesy, I'm looking up your question.
Now, this is also something, Will, too, I will say about this. I want to get to these real quick, too. Having those extra pitches are going to be necessary. 110%, Dev. Tobias says, if we trade it for Turner, I'll be less sad. Okay,
I've got it. You ready? Bryce?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, okay, to Spot Track, who I like a lot, I think they are very good at reporting contracts. Says the number 8 pick will get paid $22.38 million, and over the cap says 22.88. So the Falcons are paying Michael Penix Jr. $22.3 million minimum to not play
for a year. There's no way that's his rookie deal per year. That'd be wild.
I think that's the signing bonus. This doesn't say anything about per year.
So Denver takes Bo Nix right here. We're going to move on and keep talking about this stuff.
That is hilarious.
I will say this, though, about this pick, guys, and this is serious. I think Denver felt the pressure. Originally, Denver felt like they could trade back and get their quarterback, get him in the second round. When they saw what Atlanta did, we got to go get a guy now. Like, I think that's – I don't hate this pick for Denver because they have to go get a quarterback. But you know what's crazy, Will? Every single team that has taken a quarterback had to have one. Atlanta didn't. Nuts. Just nuts to me. Absolutely crazy. Because either one or two things with Atlanta, and I'm sorry, we keep going back to this. Either one, Kirk Cousins is a historically bad signing, or this staff, I don't know, man. It's a joke.
I don't know. I think Bo Nix is a bigger joke.
Sean Payton.
Look at that. Look at that. Did you know Bo Nix's dad, Patrick Nix, played quarterback at Auburn? Did you know that? Who didn't know that?
I'm aware. This is hilarious.
On ABC.
What kind of quarterback room is Stidham, Wilson, and Nix? They have a frat party of a quarterback room. Okay,
so, all right, I found another site. It says $22.38 million is the total value of the contract. Includes a $13 million signing bonus. So the Falcons just basically threw away $13 million to their to their probably number 3 quarterback.
New Orleans, I bet you, is going to take Brock Bowers.
Why would the Saints take Brock Bowers?
It's what a lot of Saints fans are saying. I have a lot of LSU following. And that's what a lot of them are saying right now.
Who are the Raiders picking here? Are they
I don't
smart?
know. Like, I genuinely think
Dallas Turner? Are they
Dallas
smart?
Turner. I have no clue. It is Ralph just not Christian Adams. There you
Yes.
go. I'd let you do it.
Yes.
Ralph, are
Patrick
you
Nichols,
hanging out with us, or are you just taking a break?
Dev, there's no way Patrick or Bo Nix is going to be the best quarterback in this class. He's a great athlete. I don't think he's going to be a great NFL, even a good NFL quarterback.
Oh my gosh!
But you think about it.
You ready for this, Will?
A short quarterback with a decent arm. Sean Payton's had a lot of success with guys with those physical attributes.
You ready?
Oh,
for
look
this?
at that! There's Bo Nix throwing the only touchdown Auburn has thrown in Baton Rouge in like 30 years.
Will is about 20 minutes behind on his stream, by the way.
Brock
I'm not.
Bowers to
It's
Vegas,
because it's
by the way.
ABC.
Brock
ABC.
Bowers to Vegas.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing.
That's what you're hearing.
Dang.
I got Adam Schefter over there. I love it. I love it. Ralph just coming in with the insider knowledge. Ralph, Adam Schefter tweeted this: Atlanta takes Michael Penix. Raheem Morris loved him.
Well, I mean, let's just be honest here. And I mean, I know how much you want to talk about it. I mean, I've gotten texts from people saying that Will looks like he's ready to eat the camera on his screen right now. He looks.
Who is?
He looks mad.
Eat?
Will looks. I don't know. You look angry. You look pissed.
I am angry.
I know, and you have the right to be. Someone somewhere in that Atlanta front office saw something in Penix to take him here. Take him at 8. So
I'm gonna tell you one thing: if the Saints don't, or never mind. I'm sorry. Brock Bowers to the Raiders. That's cool. Good for him. Unreal player.
right pick.
Doesn't have a quarterback, but that's fine.
Sure he does.
Don't tell me that a kid. Do not tell me that Aiden O'Connell is going to lead Las Vegas to anything except for a top 10 pick next year.
Hey, they had that one blowout win last year.
Yeah, in Atlanta, teams do things occasionally. Oh, geez. Over 160 people watching live. We appreciate you.
The Saints at 14 are now listening to trade off.
The Falcons could have taken Brock Bowers, and it would have been 100 times better pick.
I pray to God they show it when he just ran 700 yards down the field in this highlight against Georgia Tech. That was amazing. That was unbelievable his freshman year. And even Tech fans have to understand how crazy that was. He runs a slant route. He outruns the entire defense 75 yards to the end zone.
He's a freak. He's a unicorn.
He is a freak. Now, I will tell you, it would have been cool to have him in Indianapolis and have two of the best athletes at their respective positions. Anthony Richardson. Yeah, I mean, that'd have been cool.
Would have been cool to have him in Atlanta.
When he single-handedly beat Auburn this past year.
Yeah, blocking and receiving.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Auburn could have done differently.
That screenplay against Bama is still wild. He brought like 7 tackles.
I was really going to buy a Falcons jersey this year, too. I'm so done, man.
You can. Oh, man.
I just don't care.
I forget he's from California. I really do.
Yeah.
Jonesy, stop with the big Penix energy.
Vegas got real lucky. I think some people, Dev, and I'm reading on Twitter, some people feel like Vegas didn't because they needed a quarterback.
But who you taking it in that spot?
Yeah, so like Ralph, look it up for us. Who are the top quarterbacks remaining on the board?
Are you okay with me looking at ESPN? Because that's what I've been going off of.
Yeah, just do ESPN's best available.
Rattler's number 1.
Dear God.
Oh, my.
And Rattler.
Pratt, Keaton Slovis, Jordan Travis, Devin Leary.
Hey, I'll say this. I would have rather the Falcons taken Rattler in the 3rd round.
Will? Yes. 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 Yes.
They still can.
If the Saints take Dallas Turner, it
They
is going
probably
to be
will
like salt in the
because
wound.
this front office has lost its mind, apparently.
There's 12 quarterbacks available left, and that's the
Okay,
whole
so
entire draft.
like Bryce, I've been sitting here thinking about what you said about the quote Raheem Morris loves Michael Penix. That is the worst news that a Falcons fan could hear. You know why? Because that to me that just smells that smells terrible because Raheem Morris came in there and was like insisting on Penix no matter what I'm just so irritated. I can't even speak. It sounds to me like the front office and the head coach are not on the same page, and that is very concerning. And maybe he wore down Terry Fontenot into being like, okay, you know what? You want Penix? You have him. Good luck. Even though we just cheated and got Kirk Cousins and spent overpaid for a 36-year-old quarterback.
It isn't even an indictment, guys, on Michael Penix.
It's not.
Point.
It's an
It's
indictment
just literally,
on the Falcons. It's an indictment. This is all of this animosity is toward the Falcons and not toward Michael Penix.
I'll say this, and this is they both can probably agree with this, is that if the Falcons were sitting at 18 or 19 and took Penix without having Kirk Cousins, they'd have been perfectly fine with the pick, honestly. If Kirk Cousins,
you don't draft a backup at number 8. You just don't do that.
And they don't have Kirk Cousins. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you have Kirk Cousins, you're okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you. You just don't draft a backup at 8. You don't do that. Look up for this. When
Jonesy,
did Atlanta...
your son should be the GM of the Falcons.
What, Bryce?
In all seriousness, look up, because I saw some moron put a rock dweller on Twitter that I follow, and I want to unfollow, but I don't. A rock dweller. He put that he loves this pick and he hopes the Falcons can capture the magic the Packers did. The Packers are very unique people. It doesn't happen very often. Because when Brett Favre was there, they took Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wasn't in a top 10 pick. When they took Jordan Love wasn't a top 10 pick. Folks, you just don't draft a backup at number 8. You don't draft a backup at number 8. Like Will said, you help your team now, and do we know who the Saints have selected, by the way?
Not yet.
No. It's like Ralph said, if the Falcons are sitting at 18 or 19 and take him, it's like I've said this whole time. If you're sitting at 18 or 19, you're 1 or 2 pieces away from winning
Aaron
the Super
Rodgers
Bowl.
Was the first round 24th overall pick.
Yep.
I think Jordan Love was close to that too, like 22 or something like that.
Yep. If you're drafting in the late teens, you're like 1 piece away. You can justify taking a backup quarterback at 18 if you have a 36-year-old quarterback.
Never mind. Okay, so Michael Penix is being interviewed right now by the Atlanta media, so we're going to have more reactions to this. He says he only knew he was headed to the Falcons when the phone call came through, meaning he didn't know he was going to Atlanta.
The Saints pick is yet to be in. It was reported they were listening to trades.
Maybe for Atlanta.
6 quarterbacks have been taken the first 12 picks. Wow.
Why not just take Joe Milton?
Make it 7. Why don't you take Rattler here? Just make it 7. Just keep it going. Just go down the list. Get them all out. Get all 24 quarterbacks.
Right, can we trade the Falcons for the Thrashers and bring them back? I'd rather be a hockey fan. Honest to God, I'd rather be an NHL fan than have the Atlanta Falcons.
I guess we're gonna
turn Mercedes-Benz into the best hockey arena and let's roll with hockey and soccer.
It is
Richard. It's not the time. It's not the time. Richard. Respectfully, it's not the time.
The offensive tackle from the Oregon State. Talisi
Fugwa. They said makes sense. Protect their just average quarterback that they've got down there. This NFC South is a complete utter joke.
It's unserious. It's an unserious division.
This stream is going to be well over 2 hours, by the way.
I don't care. I'll be angry for 2 more hours. All right, Booger, I see you rocking the Auburn orange and blue. He must have lost a bet or something.
I saw him on the sideline last week, 2 weeks ago.
Well, Richard, we're bringing the Columbus Braves. So I think that's close enough.
Sure.
if the city can get out of the way and let
Oh
them
my
renovate the
gosh.
ballpark.
Sources have confirmed to Daniel Jeremiah of NFL.com that Kirk Cousins was not given a heads up on the Michael Penix pick.
Why do the Falcons do this to themselves? They have turned this, they have ruined the offseason. The Falcons were having a great offseason. Yeah, Christian, thank you. How come we got 164 people watching and not nearly that many likes? Like the stream.
Like the stream. Share it to your friends. Tell them if they're angry too at the Falcons.
Dev is skeptical. Dev, why would they tell Kirk Cousins that? Because you know that was a selling point when they wanted to sign him. Like, no, we're not going to draft a quarterback. You're our guy. They just, you know that they just straight lied to him. If that's true, they 100% lied to him and assured him they weren't going to take a quarterback.
Dev says the dreams of the pick is like Mahomes. That was a criticized pick when the Chiefs went. Yeah, but guys, that's rare. And Dev, I'm just playing devil's advocate to your point. Yeah, I do believe that's the hope is that you've stacked the quarterback position to extend a championship window. It doesn't matter. It does not matter when you may go 8-8.
Everyone also knew that it was Alex Smith. It was his last year of his contract coming up. That
was it his last year? Was he there for 2 years?
No, it was there. He played the 1 year,
and then went to Sanford
and left. Yeah, and everyone knew that was his last year, and then that they were going to draft a quarterback. It just was who they were going to get, and then everyone thought they reached on Mahomes, and they obviously didn't. They sat there and were celebrating getting Mahomes at what 12.
Here's another difference. Andy Reid's their head coach. Guy's got a track record of developing quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
Falcons have Raheem Morris, was the defense coordinator, coached both sides of the ball. No, and who's this offense coordinator? Comes from the McVay tree. I forget his name.
Bryce,
Michael Penix is going to turn 24 in next month. By the way.
All right, Bryce. He's going to sue you for ageism. That's a lawsuit, my friend. Bryce is an ageist.
So now on the clock is Indianapolis. Okay.
This is unbelievable.
I cannot believe this. The Falcons were winning the offseason, and they just they were the Falcons. They can't get out of their own way.
Trashed it.
Cannot get out of their own way.
I'm just. I'm spam texting people to get a guest on, by the way. Dan Orlovsky, who I will say I do enjoy as an analyst, I think he does a really, really good job. He's in disbelief about the Michael Penix to Atlanta.
I mean, him and 99% of the country, except for the 1% being the front office of the Falcons. It's wild.
All right, I got a guess, folks. Ralph, can you text me the link so I can send it to him? It's a guy who's in the press conference right now with Michael Penix. So this is a good one.
This makes no sense. Who does Indy go with, real quick? Who do we think? Dallas Turner?
I don't even know.
Brian Thomas?
Do you want to protect Anthony Richardson?
They have a good O-line. Do they not?
I have no clue.
I thought their O-line was pretty good.
Here.
I'm thinking Brian Thomas or Dallas Turner.
Don't they have Michael Pittman?
I think they're going to let him walk, aren't they? Or they let him walk?
He's still in Indianapolis, but I think, yeah, I don't know. Latu went number 15 to the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, so here's something.
This draft is wild.
I'm getting two guests on. All right, we're going to roll first with a guy that Tech fans know very well. No, it's not my boy Hot Rod. That's for sure. Love you, Hot Rod. But no, I will not take over the Georgia Tech 24/7 site. Okay.
I'll hurt these fans.
Tech fans are going to love this. I'm going to let them join. Ralph, you can bring them in so we can go for like the quad feed here.
Quad.
Well,
Christian says, watch the Falcons draft Rattler next. You could say anything about the Falcons right now, and I believe it.
I don't even know what the deal is, man. I makes me want to throw up. The whole thing just makes me want to vomit into a cup and drink it.
are you sure they took Latu?
Yeah, that's what the reports are saying. Latu.
Yeah, you're right. I got it.
We're gonna have two guests sitting in here. We're gonna have one of them behind the scenes. They both work for the same company, which makes this even a little more hilarious. But crazy, man. It's just crazy.
So Seattle is on the clock now. Do we think Dallas Turner goes here at 16?
This is the question: is something wrong with something wrong with Dallas Turner? Is there something in the physical? Because that could make you understand something. All right, we got Caleb Johnson over here. We're going to bring him in. Caleb, we're 5 minutes of your time, my friend. For folks that don't know, Caleb works for 929 The Game over there in Atlanta. Caleb, we're speechless. We're stunned. We don't know how to feel. For reference, introduce you. That's Will. That's Ralph, my co-host here on the show.
What's going on, guys?
Walk me through. I do believe that you guys just kind of wrapped up a little media session there with Michael Penix, if I'm correct. Walk me through. What was your reaction? What's the reaction there in the Atlanta media right now?
Speechless is a perfect way to describe this. I would just like to know, I was not personally in the media session with Michael Penix. That is our guy, Joe Patrick in 929.
Okay.
However, the things that I'm getting out of this is that Michael Penix did not know that the Atlanta Falcons were interested in him. He literally told that to the media. He did not know that the Falcons were interested in him. So that would make Michael Penix Jr. That would make 99% of Atlanta media who are trying to understand why you would spend all the money that you did to pay Kirk Cousins and then not only draft a quarterback, but draft the oldest quarterback in the draft, who is going to be 28 years old by the time Kirk Cousins' deal runs up. I say I'm speechless. Obviously, I feel like I have a lot to discuss on the matter just because every time I think we're at a position of, hey, let's give the Falcons some credit. Maybe we don't understand something. Maybe we don't know something. Maybe we misunderstood something. They then remind us all of like, no, that initial intuition's probably pretty right. That this is just a franchise that when I heard the conversation about Michael Penix Jr., because this isn't like just a brand new thing. This is something that Ian Rappaport has been reporting on for a few days now, saying that it was owner Arthur Blank who was interested in bringing this guy in. I didn't know that things had gotten that bad, that this situation we turned into Jerry Jones now. Like the owner is making the pick. I just I didn't expect that from Arthur Blank. I didn't expect it from the Atlanta Falcons. I just don't know what to do. The other element of this, sorry, I know I'm ranting here.
No, you're fine.
We've been ranting for an hour.
Daniel Jeremiah reported just a few minutes ago that the Falcons didn't let Kirk Cousins know that this is going to happen. So throw that into the mix as well. And I know a lot of people are going to try to do, and I know I work with some lovely people who tomorrow are going to do the whole Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love thing. This is not that. That was a Hall of Fame quarterback who was at the end of his career that they were already stuck to contractually. And they, much later in the draft as well for that one. What was Love, like 17, 18, I think. This situation with Atlanta is not the Green Bay Packers. I mean, for one, you don't have a Super Bowl. So there's that as well.
Exactly.
It's just it's appalling. It truly is appalling.
Yeah. Well, Caleb, Will was talking about this earlier. It doesn't follow the logic. Like I think that's the most frustrating thing for Falcons fans, because you explained to us, you covered the team. I mean, you're there in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Our thought process was, okay, if you don't sign Kirk Cousins, we understand if you're going to maybe reach at 8 for a quarterback. We get that. Once they do that, it kind of feels like the only massive hole is go get somebody that can pressure the quarterback. Now, we just saw Latu got picked over Dallas Turner. Are we to think that there's something maybe in a physical that people don't like about Dallas Turner, that he's kind of now dropping, or is this just kind of the domino effect of what happens in crazy drafts like this?
The thing that I had struggled so much with is just as a football fan watching Dallas Turner, I was like, this is a really talented pass rusher. I get everything's not going to be perfect. Like any guy that you're drafting, someone is going to be able to find something that they don't like about them. And with Dallas Turner, feels like a lot of teams and a lot of people don't like the fact that he's a little light in the keister and maybe didn't impress people as much on that Alabama defensive line as they would have liked, specifically kind of getting caught up in some of those, just getting caught up in some blocks that they thought he should have been able to fight through or use a move to get past.
Yeah.
I was on the side of thinking that, hey, these things are going to develop. Also, just because of like, you don't have anyone to rush the passer besides Zach Harrison. And who else? Where's the, I know Terry Fontenot, like he got in front of media this week and he said, oh, Calais Campbell is not out of the question returning. He was gone just the minute that this season ended.
Yeah.
And so I think he's going to Jacksonville, quite honestly, just because of that connection there with the defensive coordinator, but yeah, I was fine with either Latu or Dallas Turner. I had watched more of Dallas Turner as an SEC fan. And so I was kind of like, yeah, hey, he's not perfect. He's not polished, but this is what you get in a young prospect. And so it is kind of surprising to see him drop. Not necessarily though that it is Latu. Because also, do you remember when we were talking about Jared Verse at 8 there?
Yeah.
And defense just completely an afterthought. So yeah, this has been an interesting draft because I think the other part of it is how much did we hear about like trades were going to happen? Oh, there's going to be all these trades. Everybody's going to be trading. And for the most part, it's been not nearly as crazy in that aspect. It's just been more of who's been picked.
Yeah. Well, Caleb Johnson, 19 on the game. Caleb, we appreciate it. I think we have one of your coworkers waiting down here in the wings. Garrett Chapman is about to hop on with us next to continue talking about this. But Caleb, thanks so much for taking the time, responding quickly to that DM. And obviously we have a lot of Georgia viewers and listeners, so they'll make sure to check y'all out over at 92.9 The Game there in Atlanta. But Caleb, thanks so much, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
It's Caleb Johnson. Great insight. I thought, honestly, guys, just of what's happening and kind of what's rolling and with this. We're going to bring in Garrett Chapman, who has a unique perspective. He's rocking. Garrett, are you rocking a Bijan Robinson jersey?
No. This is just a Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan.
Okay.
Guys, this is malpractice. I don't. This is. To say. I don't know if you guys see me on Twitter or whatever, but it's. To say that I am frustrated is truthfully, it is a disaster. I am very frustrated because you have needs. You have, go draft a wide receiver if you want an offensive player, right? If you want to go fix something on defense, anything on defense. You don't have any linebackers. You don't have any cornerback help opposite of AJ Terrell. You don't have any pass rushers. We haven't had a consistent pass rusher on this team for 15 years.
John Abraham.
15 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're going to go take a quarterback after you paid $160 million for a guy who's going to be your starting quarterback for the next 3 to. I know Caleb said 4 years. I don't think he's going to go full 4 years. That's okay. Yeah. He'll go at least the next 2. Michael Penix will be 25, 26 years old. And that's fine. Like, I don't care about that part as much as the fact that you just spent a top 10 pick. A top 10 pick. When you have options across the board, it's reckless behavior by the Atlanta Falcons. I'm. You guys didn't even get your full intro. I'm already like jumping all the way in, man. I'm frustrated. I'm fired up and frustrated.
Before we continue, Byron Murphy to Seattle, by the way.
I would have liked Byron Murphy. Not at 8,
Great
but I would have liked Byron Murphy. Here's and I'll open it up to I'm going to ask this, then I'm going to open it up to the other guys real quick. I wanted one question, Garrett. Obviously, you guys cover this. Garrett works for 929, also covers Georgia Tech.
My other half, the dopey millennial, by the way.
Yeah. Those two guys, it's hilarious. I fired off a couple DMs, and the show you guys do, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Garrett, is there any hope that they're going to go get an edge rusher? Can they trade back? Can they trade up? They've got the 2 third-round picks, the second-round picks. Where do you go from here? I'll open it up to the other guys after this, but wanted to get that question into you.
No, of course. Yeah. No, I mean, there is certainly a thought that they could jump back into the first round. I mean, you have the second-round pick. You have the 2 third-round picks, like you mentioned, the one that came in just by virtue of the Calvin Ridley trade, which, should have been a second-round pick. But the Jacksonville Jaguars started playing with this a little bit, and they delayed the signing of Calvin Ridley, right? So it ended up being just a third-round pick. And it's still, you have assets. You have the ability to jump back up into the first round if you see fit. And the last that I saw, I have not seen the most recent picks. I know Byron Murphy, you just mentioned. As far as I know, Dallas Turner's still on the board. As far as I know, Jared Verse is still on the board. And at the end of the day, as fired up and frustrated as I am, if Michael Penix is your guy, if your guy is on the board, go get him, period. And I disagree with the pick. I'm frustrated by the pick. But if Terry Fontenot in this front office, they see him as the dude, then I can rationalize the pick and I can come to terms with it. The frustrating thing is that he's not going to be on the board, or he's not going to be on the field for 3 years. But they could still turn something around and get something out of this first round. But general managers make their money because they're able to effectively pick, not just in the first round, the thing that everyone micromanages, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Everyone has a lot of opinions on what happens in the first round. Not a lot of people know what happens after the fact. General managers make their money based off of what they do round 2 through 7, as much as they do in the first round. So first round, you go get your guy. 2 through 7, you build out a roster that can go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Will, Ralph, either of you got a question y'all want to ask Garrett before we let him go?
I don't know. You may have more insight. You would certainly have more than I would. We feel the exact same way about this pick. It doesn't make sense. I thought you put it perfectly. It's malpractice. I mean, it's insane. I mean, we have these rumors, these allegations of tampering.
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can speak to that a little bit, but it just doesn't make sense. You're gonna tamper, you're gonna cheat to get Kirk Cousins, and then you're gonna draft a quarterback at 8. Like that doesn't make any sense at all.
They talked to Kirk Cousins more when he was in Minnesota than in Atlanta, obviously.
We have another
Apparently.
trade, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a trade. Wait, what you got,
Jacksonville
Ralph?
has traded their pick to Minnesota.
Ooh, that's an interesting
So
one.
Minnesota's doing great.
Wow.
Also, a report came out that Kirk Cousins had no idea. He had no idea either.
Yeah, no, that's what Daniel Jeremiah was saying, and I heard Caleb mentioned it before I came on, and I mean, no, yeah, they tampered with Kirk Cousins. I think that was more medically related than it was anything else. They just had contact with him before the league year started, so it could mean, based off of the things that I understand about the situation, is you had Kirk Cousins, who had already effectively agreed in principle to a contract with the Atlanta Falcons during the legal tampering period, but you're not allowed to have contact with team personnel outside of your agent or whatever, and apparently people with the medical team reached out to see if they could get some more information on his Achilles and his rehab process and everything else. So they'll be punished for it. They'll probably lose draft compensation for next year.
Okay.
I can't imagine that it's going to be this year. I would be blown away if it would be a little ridiculous if they try to, in the middle of the NFL draft, pull out draft picks and just say, hey, so sorry, by the way, you don't have your second round pick now. I think that'd be a little ridiculous, but next year I would not be surprised if they lose like a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick or something like that. It's not going to be quite as bad as what it was in whatever that year was, 2019, I believe, 2020, when the Miami Dolphins lost a 1st round pick. That was legitimately like, hey, we're going to go get you and Tom Brady and Sean Payton to come in here and be the quarterback and head coach of the Miami Dolphins. That's not exactly the same level. Ralph, are you saying something? Sorry.
Minnesota's won this draft. They got Dallas Turner.
Dad,
Wow.
gummit.
Wow.
There you go. Well, there's one. See, I was all in on Leatu Latu. I thought Leatu Latu was going to be kind of a shoe-in as a potential pick. He made a lot of sense for the Atlanta Falcons, not just because it's been a pressing need for 15 years, but because he's the best pure pass rusher in the draft this year. And the dude has talent. He's a very, very good player. He has the medical concerns, of course, with the surgeries on his neck and everything else. But at the end of the day, you were going to go get the best defensive player on the board, and you had a chance to go do that and really solidify a need. But as far as I know, there's no cornerback who's been taken off the board yet, right, Ralph?
No.
I don't know if you're looking at it yet. So you can go jump back in. You can go get a Quinyon Mitchell, you can go get one.
Nate
of
Wiggins is another guy.
Tons. Terrion Arnold. I mean, like there are guys on the board who you can still go and get, and you can solidify at least a portion of your defense. And look, I mean, you have some great defensive minds who are coming in to go be the head coach and defensive coordinator of this team next year. And that's but that also lends it to one other piece of thinking that I have is you don't have the personnel for this new defense that you're going to be implementing in 2024. You don't have the personnel. I know Caleb mentioned Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell's not really a scheme fit necessarily. He could be a 3-4 defensive end potentially, but that's not really what he came here to do. He wanted to be a 4-3 defensive end where he can rush the passer and get after it a little bit. And in a 3-4 style, you're not really going to be doing that necessarily as much. And we're also assuming that Grady Jarrett's going to come back and be Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett's not even an effect. He's not a nose tackle. He's going to come in and be a defensive end next year in this 3-4 front. Are you that comfortable with that? I'm not. But I don't know. You had a bunch of needs, and you didn't need to go and draft a backup player for the next 3 years. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope
Me too.
Bryce, clip this, and I want to be wrong. I want to be like, we just drafted the next Aaron Rodgers, and look at this idiot put me on freezing cold takes, man. I please, Lord, because the Falcons fan in me, I know I'm gonna have a field day. Caleb talked specifically about how we're gonna have a field day tomorrow. Let me tell you what, Steakhouse 9 to 11, tune in. We'll be there. It's going to be a
Oh
lot of fun.
gosh, dude, I can imagine the Atlanta media market is going to be wild. 92.9 going to be crazy. Garrett, we appreciate it so much, man. Garrett
course.
covers obviously Georgia Tech for 24/7 Sports, and then obviously on the 92.9 coverage side, doing all things in the Atlanta area. You'll appreciate this right here. Alex, noted Georgia Tech fan, says, "I hope the Falcons trade up for Paul Moala." I don't think that's going to be happening, but it wouldn't
not.
surprise me at this point. But hey. Garrett, we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for coming on and talking with us, and we hope you have
Y'all do a great
rest of your
job.
night.
Keep up the good work.
That's Garrett Chapman. Does a great job over there with a bunch of different stuff that he has going on. And guys, we two great guests, in my opinion. Kind of to lend some observations on that. We're going to be having another one here very soon, and this is going to be great. Cody Chafin tweeted. We got this from Gavin Hart. It looks like Terry Fontenot's trying to explain himself. Have you guys seen this clip?
Yeah. I saw
Can we
that.
can we pull that up?
Sounds
Ralph?
like what I was hinting at earlier. Like maybe he's like begging, but then Caleb comes in and says that Arthur Blank was the one that had interest in Michael.
Or
Penix.
he's trying to say, hey, since we did that, we can do this. Dev says it's in the Discord. Make sure you join the Discord if you haven't already.
Essentially doesn't help you go ahead and really try and put a stranglehold, so to speak, on the South and really see if you can dethrone the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and be that team.
See it right there.
Big league, 'cause there's so many
Is he talking about trying to jump back into another pick? I don't know.
Essentially doesn't help you
Yeah.
go ahead and really try and put a stranglehold,
I don't know.
so to speak, on the
We're
South
like
and really see if you can
probably digging too deep.
Yeah, I mean,
I just know Terry Fontenot's kid's probably not going to be able to be around the facility much longer. And this is a point too, guys, about that is, Garrett and Caleb mentioned this. The question legitimately has been asked, is Terry Fontenot going to see Michael Penix take a meaningful snap for Atlanta?
Yeah. Probably not. This all depends. Is that report true that this Michael Penix thing was spearheaded by Arthur Blank? Because if it wasn't, I think Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris just signed their pink slips. Because this is not a good look, I don't think. And especially already Kirk Cousins being like, no, I had no idea. I had no idea they're going to draft a quarterback. Why create controversy? That's all that this pick does, is creates controversy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Then I just had someone tell me that Brian Kelly's not really a good coach. I don't know what's happening, dude. I don't know. We're going to be having a guest joining here in a second. I did want to get to this. Something that's super, super intriguing about all of this is where Garrett talked about, making your money in the second and seventh rounds. Terry Fontenot's been good at that. Like Atlanta has been good at that. So if you can get a Chop Robinson in the second round, if you can get a Kool-Aid McKinstry, if some of these guys fall, it's going to be very interesting to see. I don't know. We'll be having another guest to kind of talk the last one of the night to talk Falcons football here in just a second. But kind of, guys, before we walk into that, let's play. I don't even know what to say. Let's play Russian roulette. I don't know. I have no clue.
Get the banner up.
What's the banner? We got Pete Gate.
We got Pete Gate.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Took 2 hours. Took 2 hours before some Pete Gate.
I'm just having to fix the draft order on my thing.
Ken,
I can hear you typing over there.
Yeah, Bryce didn't realize I deleted.
Ken, I'm with you. Penix or Nix, because I truly can't decide which is actually worse. Bryce said it earlier. I don't know if you were in here. Nix definitely feels like a reaction by the Broncos.
This is not. I don't think Michael Penix is going to be a bad NFL quarterback. Like we said, this is not an indictment on Michael Penix. Yes, there's the injury concerns. It's the situation. It's just a pick, and the situation doesn't make any sense. And the kid's going to be at the end of Kirk Cousins' deal. Okay, he's going to be 28. All right, we got Chris Marler, better known as a fantastic media personality across all social platforms. Chris, this is the first time we met each other. I do appreciate you coming on. My co-host Will and Ralph here. I saw your video that you put up immediately. I don't hold anything back. We need to. I mean, I don't care. It's whatever you want to do. To whatever extent you want to take. What was your reaction? Have you changed your reaction at all? 40 minutes, an hour later. Walk me through how you feel.
So, one, thank you for asking. That's it's always Chris, where's the content? Not Chris, how are you today? So I appreciate that. Emotionally, that feels really good. I don't think anyone would ever describe me as a emotionally stable, rational person when it comes to sports, like most of us, because we're all fans. I've lived in Atlanta up until last year my entire life. I've been whatever the opposite of blessed is, a Falcons fan for my whole life. I hate to be that person because like NFL fans are insane the way they react to stuff, and I try to bring in like logic and reason as much as possible with my college football stuff. What the fuck were the Falcons like at 8? I'm sitting here. I love the draft, and you've given me the soapbox, so I'm just got to pardon me. I'm going to go off here. I love the draft, and I love the prop bets like associated with the draft. Vegas is always, like Vegas knows everything, so it's so fun to follow along. We do a show every year based on the best prop bets. I'm sitting here right before the pick, looking at Michael Penix, and his draft position over under was 32.5. So what that tells, if you fall in love with him, fine. Like every year, I make fun of whatever franchise falls in love with somebody, overreaches way too far. Was really hoping it was not going to be my franchise this year, but of course they are. And here's the thing: if you like him after you've given $200 million to the most milquetoast quarterback imaginable, and that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. If you are reaching because you bring him in and you want to develop him and let him sit and learn the offense, whatever, fine with that. But instead, you stay at 8 when you could have traded back and still gotten either Jared Verse, probably could have gotten Turner, and you have all this extra draft value, and you get Michael fucking Penix at 8. I just the only good thing I could say about it is at least it wasn't JJ McCarthy, because I would have yeeted myself into traffic. It would have been unreal. Like I don't get it.
I think the one right above you would have done the same thing probably.
Yeah, well, and let me say this too, Chris. And
that would have been Bryce.
We won't keep you long because I know you said you got the post-draft show, which I guess the draft will be over in the next. We have 12 more picks. It'll be over in the next 2 hours.
Marius Mims just went to the Bengals.
Right.
Okay. Hey, protect Joe Burrow. That's logic. That makes sense. I guess, Chris, your thoughts on this? They supposedly, reportedly, did not. Daniel Jeremiah says they didn't talk to Kirk Cousins. Chris, they've talked to Kirk Cousins more when he was with Minnesota officially as a free agent than they did in Atlanta. What is Kirk Cousins feeling on this?
Well, as Kirk Cousins spokesperson, I got to be pretty bad here, boys. What is he feeling? I don't know. He is probably at a Brewster's Ice Cream in Brookhaven right now, not giving a shit or even watching the draft. Like it is. I don't know. I mean, like again, I've said this over and over. I said it in the video. I love the idea of drafting a kid and letting him sit and there's so many good examples of it. And you talk about like Aaron Rodgers, not Jordan Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers in sitting behind Brett Favre for 3 or 4 years learning the offense. Jordan Love even last year after he sat for a couple of years. And we thought that was a stretch, right? But I don't know if I've ever seen going to pay $200 million for a franchise that refuses to level up and do things consistently to win. You go out and pay $200 million for him and then draft the quarterback. It makes no sense to me. And I do not I hate to be that guy, but you also just hired a defensive coach. It'd be one thing if it was hey, you know what? We overreached for this guy. It wasn't like we needed a defensive end. I think did they already lose Grady Jarrett or they're about to? I'm pretty sure he's gone. You're ranked last in the NFL in sacks for the last 3 years, and you do that. I just don't.
I think that we sit here and when it happened, it's more of. And Garrett Chapman just joined us, 929 The Game. He was a guest right before you. Garrett, great, fantastic person. And then Caleb Johnson, his better half, as he referred to him on their podcast, joined right before that. Chris, he said every single time this franchise gets you into a position where you feel like, okay, this makes sense, something like this happens. Will and I talked about this because Ralph stepped away. Ralph has abandoned his Falcons fandom. He's officially done with it. He finished last year. Ralph. For some reason,
at the
Will
end
and
of
I have
the
done it.
year, look, when Arthur Smith was fired, I entered the portal like every other college player does when the coach gets fired
Yeah.
or leaves. I entered the portal. I left. Did I choose a team that wins a lot? Sure, why not? I want to enjoy watching football for a little bit. I'm tired of watching the same crap year in.
But you
year
picked
out.
a team that doesn't win the Super Bowl.
Who
So
did you
what good
pick?
is it?
Buffalo.
Bills. Bills.
I mean, that is like if you want to edge more, if you want to edge yourself more watching football, then watch the Bills. I guess. Like I don't like you're a sick man, but I mean like.
Well, here's the thing, Chris, and this makes life a lot easier. I'm not gonna be able to watch them down here anyway. So
Yeah.
it's not
So
like I'm just gonna choose a team just to pull for. I mean, honestly, I'll end up watching the Falcons because that's the only game on TV, or watch the other game, which whoever it is,
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's
what blows my mind is that like and the total lack of awareness and self-awareness from the franchise, which is like one, Arthur Blank, it's probably time to go. Like appreciate everything you've done. I said it when it happened. I don't think that the franchise will ever recover from 28-3. I just don't. Like you were so close, and now everything you've done since feels like it's like you're trying to. It's like gambling. Like I hate to say it. Hopefully my girlfriend's not watching, but it's like when you lose a couple in a row, and you're like, I got to make up for this. Like, let me double down. Let me try to overdo it, and you just keep losing more. That's kind of like what it feels like they're doing. But like the lack of self-awareness, you go out and get a defensive coach, and you have defensive needs, and you're like, nah, fuck it. Like you also need a receiver. Like, what are we like? What the fuck, man? And so then you do all of those things. And it's like, I just keep waiting. Do one thing that the fans will like. Go strictly wear the retro uniforms. Like, do something. We understand how cheap the hot dogs are on the third level. Like, I'm not walking all the way up there and paying full price for tickets if you're not going to put a good thing, a product on the field. But like them posting that tweet today of last two number 8s have 8. Like, first off, not even a great like pun or whatever we want to call that. But at the same time, like you're bragging about having the number 8 pick for the 3rd straight year. It's like, what are we doing? Like, what? Maybe I'll just jump ship. I'm not going to Buffalo. That sounds fucking awful. But maybe I'll just go to Miami. I don't know.
Houston might be an option at this point. I don't know,
a bunch of
man.
Bama players. I mean, this whole year is shit for my sports teams. Apparently, just like Saban retires, the Falcons. The Falcons were never going to be good. But it's just been tough. It's been tough.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Chris, man, we appreciate you jumping in, answering that DM. We'll have to get you back on, especially college football continues to kind of roll around. Before we leave, I know that you have you're on your 3rd Twitter account now, but that's completely
really
okay. I know it's a shame, honestly. When I went there and I only saw one 1,400 followers. Give Chris a follow. Where can they find your work and everything that you do, by the way?
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Vern Funquist, CFB. There's only so many other ways I can put Vern Funquist on there. I lost my side note. I lost the last account. I lost the first one because I made a Kirby Smart sex tape joke on April Fool's. And the post was up for like an hour and a half. And the account was like a bunch of Georgia fans were like, nope, not on my watch. So I got in trouble for that. This time I was being a good friend and checking on a buddy who I was a little bit worried about because some of the stuff he posted never responds. And a couple of days later, he like just casually responds like a tweet. And I was like, dude, I'm going to kill you if you're not calling me back. Gone. Within 2 minutes. Gone. And so, yeah, Vern Funquist, CFB. I just started a new position over with ESPN 104.5 in Baton Rouge. And then we also have
Wow.
That's why you reached out.
Yeah, no, I did not. I think I saw that. That's awesome. We'll have to connect and about this horror show that we have to watch every single Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm sure Matt Moscona will have really a lot of fun with this tomorrow morning. By the way,
he's I love Matt. He's one of my good friends. It's who I work for now. He was texting me about the whole of course the Saints are just having a field day with this. And last shameless plug, the podcast we have because we just started on a new platform is the Fourth and Wrong podcast. Me and my co-host Tyler Huck. You guys can check out that every day now. So I appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah,
Chris, we'll get you on, especially during college football season, man. We'll connect with you being in BR and everything. But, hey, we appreciate it, man, and thanks so much for hopping on.
Thanks, guys.
Chris Marler, that was phenomenal. That was amazing.
I had no idea that was Vern Funquist.
Rams, by the way.
That's great.
You,
His
so
tweets are great.
you know who Vern Funquist is, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm aware. I know who
yeah.
Vern Funquist is.
He's
Didn't know it was Chris Marler.
He's awesome. He's awesome. Hey guys, I'm gonna step out. Y'all keep talking about it. And I'm gonna check on the pregnant wife. We're 5 weeks out, by the way. See you in a second.
Dude, such
Jared
a
Verse
scam.
to the Rams was the most recent pick. I know
Not true. Don't. They're gonna ride. They're really gonna ride this for 9 months.
what happens in 9 months when the 9 months is up. Nothing. We're just where we at?
Alex, that's the best decision you could make. Alex says, I'm going to refund my Atlanta Falcons Fortnite skin.
It was a shame you bought it in the first place.
I was gonna say, you probably shouldn't have bought it to begin with.
Yeah,
Probably should have bought it to begin with. Yeah, Verse is gone.
that's a good pick by the Rams. Their first round.
It's
their
like
first
over.
first
Like
pick since 2016, and they get a solid pick. A guy that was at a FCS at Albany and was highly underrated. Got looked at by Florida State. Florida State finally showed up, and he tore it up this past year for Florida State. And he was a top 15 pick beginning.
Oh yeah.
Before I want to say right at the end of the year. And then
I think he's a top 10 pick tonight if the Falcons don't create a bunch of madness. Ken with
yeah, I agree.
at least at minimum a top 3 comment of the night. Bryce pretending to check on the wife is like the Falcons pretending to prep for a draft.
Yeah,
I don't know why you threw Gavin's up there because we all knew that was
I didn't
coming.
mean to hit it. That's the thing.
I feel like we should keep this up for when Bryce comes back.
Yeah,
Or we'll throw it back up there when Bryce gets back so he sees it.
I'm trying to see if we have a
The Steelers pick is in. Do the Steelers end their streak? I haven't been paying attention. Do you know what wide receivers are left? Because the Steelers have not
Brian
drafted
Thomas.
a wide receiver. Who?
Brian Thomas is still left.
Oh, that's right. Brian
as
Thomas.
of-
You said NFL insider, pretend NFL insider Stephen Shea of Barstool Sports
had Lad McConkey going.
had Ladd McConkey going to the Steelers at 20.
As of right now, Brian Thomas is number 1 receiver. Xavier Leggett, A.D. Mitchell, Lad McConkey, Xavier Worthy. Your top 5 receivers left. And still at number 7.
I think Xavier Worthy's the best receiver still left.
Dude, there's another receiver 2 down below Worthy. Keon Coleman.
Would be good. Bryce, here's a comment of the night that you missed.
I did. She wasn't super happy about the fact that I've been on a live stream for 2.5 hours. This is content.
Troy Fatuno.
Bryce pretending to check on the wife is like the Falcons pretending to prep for a draft.
If I said that right.
Bryce, you're also.
I
I saw what you did. That's what you did to the comments earlier. You're kind of hurting our. You're keeping us from broadening our audience.
Yeah,
Some
well,
Van Hammers you handed out.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I don't care about those people. Hey, over 200 people watching live on all platforms. We appreciate you. Keep liking it, subscribe, head over to the YouTube channel. Once again, I do want to plug. Fantastic job by Caleb Johnson, Garrett Chapman, and Chris Marler there. Chris Marler was fantastic. We're going to bring him on to talk on college football. It was kind of funny. Will, at what point did you realize and not until he said who he was?
Not until he said it. Not until he said it.
Dude, he's a great follow. He's a great follow.
He's a good follow.
So,
although I did also just learn he's an Alabama fan, so that
wearing an LSU hat. Did you pick up on that?
I saw that. I was like, that's got to be an LSU hat because it was a sailor. You know, Auburn uses that. Missouri,
logos, by the way, that sailor logo for a bunch of people.
Sailor logo. But I was like, that's got to be LSU. Yeah, he's a great follow. Go follow Vern Funquist.
Didn't hold back either, which was hilarious.
Bring Chris back. What's his handle? What did he say? At Vern Funquist CFB.
Yeah, I got you right here. I'll type it out here for everybody.
He's a really good Twitter follow. On his third Twitter account too. That's how you know he's.
I've got another guest who's a part of the Atlanta Falcons radio network. That would be a real fun one, but he can't hop on for another hour. I don't think we'll be on for another hour.
I've sent you a tweet. I think you should throw it up. It's from at 5127 GATA. Throw it up there.
Grief. His Kirby troll was epic. The Kirby, that was amazing. That was amazing.
So here's a tweet.
I'm getting it, Will. I got it.
No, it's a different one. It's a quote tweet of the NFL posting the Falcons took Michael Penix at number 8. And this guy quote tweets it and says, "Was this the tampering punishment?" Unbelievable. But yeah, we were talking about Verse earlier. I want to get your thoughts. Ralph said, "Oh, at the end of the year, I think he was a top 15 pick." I said, he would have been a top 15 pick had the Falcons not created all this madness in this draft.
Yeah, I think the trickle-down effect was ridiculous, Will. I mean, I think that's what we've seen. The trickle-down effect of Atlanta selecting Michael Penix threw this entire draft into a tailspin, because I do believe that Denver needed a quarterback, but they thought they could get Bo Nix in the second round, and they couldn't wait to the second round because the drop-off between Nix and Rattler. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe I'm higher on Spencer Rattler than other people. I think he could be a decent NFL quarterback in the right system and with a good team around him. He just hasn't had weapons, and he hasn't had a good defense.
I mean, I think that's fair. I think the arm talent's there. I mean, you're not an
all in
Elite
the right
11
system.
finalist. You're not an Elite 11 finalist if you don't have the arm talent. And Bo Nix was an Elite 11 finalist, won the Elite 11 over Spencer Rattler, if I'm remembering correctly.
For some reason, let me pull this tweet up, but this tweet says from 5127 GATA, it says, "I wish the Falcons were in Atlanta when William T. Sherman came through." That is amazing. Someone said, "Wasn't Blank 6 years old back then?" Good Lord.
So the Steelers pick Troy Fatanu, offensive guard from Washington. I don't really have an opinion.
Ralph
on
already
that
said
pick.
that. That's why he's mad.
Ralph hasn't been in here.
I said it way before I got off. So
Ralph subscribed to
Never heard
On3, who's just releasing draft information.
On3 is the one, the people tampering tonight. I mean,
That's
they're
fine.
getting
They're
all the
just-
scoops.
yeah, they tweeted out 4 minutes ago. They already made the pick.
Who do the Dolphins go with at 21?
Someone said, "Is Terry Fontenot the real life Sonny Weaver off the movie Draft?" Good Lord Jesus.
Yeah, from Michael Penix, no matter what.
I'll say this too about what Garrett Chapman said. I hope we're all wrong. Like, I hope that we're wrong. I hope this
Yes.
works out.
I say that every time I talk about Auburn. I hope I'm wrong,
Check out that episode tomorrow night, by the way. Tomorrow.
but it's bleak. Although I didn't say that in the episode, I don't think.
No, there's.
I didn't go off the rails. I was more composed. You also gave me 24 hours to prepare, so
I don't even know what to say other than thank you so much for watching this stream.
200 people.
The Pac-12 has outdone the SEC so far in the draft. That might be true. I have no clue. I
But what
feel
is-
like.
Who
Did y'all
from
see
this-
that?
what
Did y'all
conference?
see that handoff by Penix? He is a Hall of Famer.
Should we take some? Should
I
we take some calls?
I don't think we're ready for that tonight.
Get a pulse of the people.
okay.
too late?
Listen to
I
this.
think
Listen to
Chris
this. Pete
answered
Thamel
every
reported
question.
this. I don't know if you guys saw this. Kirk Cousins' agent said the only heads up the Falcons gave Cousins about picking Michael Penix was a call while the team was on the clock. He had just signed a 4-year deal for $180 million, the first two which are fully guaranteed. There's inherent frustration and confusion from Kirk Cousins' camp as they didn't use that pick to help the team in 2024. They instead drafted his eventual replacement before he's put on a Falcons helmet. Legitimately, what did Chris call him? The milk. What did he call him?
Milk
Milk
toast
bread.
quarterback. Is that what
Milk
we call him?
toast. Milk
Milk
toast.
toast.
Milk toast. The nicest guy in the league. You've managed to piss off. Think about
He's
that.
probably like, guys, that's just really uncool. Like, I cannot believe you've done this.
Christian, are you going to call in? Is that what Christian? You want to call in? We're going to open the phone lines. Ralph, can you handle that tonight?
No.
Ralph, come on.
Ralph's not even in the frame. He's not even looking.
I'm
When do the
trying
Bills
to-
pick?
I don't know. They'll do something great. They'll probably take Xavier
28.
Worthy to replace Stephon Diggs. What do the Dolphins do at 21? You talk about like a complete team on both sides of the ball.
Offensive line.
Brian Thomas just roll out there with Xavier Worthy, just keep drafting receivers.
I mean, honestly.
So right now, the overall best player is Quinyon Mitchell, and there's Terrion Arnold, Graham Barton, Cooper DeJean, and Chop Robinson are your top 5 players available.
If I'm Atlanta, I try to trade back into the first round and get Chop Robinson.
You have to. You have to. You have to salvage this.
Do you think Atlanta's just looking at like their?
I don't think
social
I think
media-
Atlanta's playing Madden right now, Ralph. I think that's what's happening.
I'm just.
Well, you
I'm
know
asking
Arthur
you
Blank's in
honestly,
bed.
though.
He had to take a long nap this afternoon to stay up to see the
You
Falcons
looking
get a
at it
pick so
like,
he could
well,
call
why are
Michael
they not
Penix.
excited about this pick? Because just
He's still trying to download Twitter, and the app's changed to X on the App Store. The name's changed to X, so he
he's
don't even know what he's looking for.
He's looking at Bluebird. Where's Bluebird at?
Where's Bluebird app? After eating the Blue Plate Special. All right, here we go.
It's next to the Home Depot app. Don't worry.
Jeez, honestly, can Terry McGuirk just run the Falcons?
McGuirk?
Yeah, the Braves owner or managing partner. Can Alex Anthopoulos just
Chairman.
run them?
I think McGurk's official title is chairman. No, the Falcons, they had the reshuffle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rich McKay is now over or soon to be over Atlanta United.
Well,
He's
there
taking
goes
a
Chop
step back.
Robinson.
He's taking a step back from the Falcons, which would make sense if Arthur Blank is the one wanting Michael Penix, and there's nobody there to talk him out of it.
Chop Robinson just went to Miami.
It's a
All right, Ralph.
That's a great pick.
Pull up the best available on the defensive line and defensive end market. Who do we have?
All right. So
This has become a
and,
Falcons show.
Now you got Darius Robinson from Missouri, Marshawn Nealon from Western Michigan, Chris Braswell from Alabama. This is edge, by the way, and Jalix Hunt from Houston Christian. I guess that's how you say it.
Darius Robinson is an intriguing prospect, actually. I would not mind him in the second round. I'd be cool with
6'5"
that.
From Missouri, you know. I mean, the slower edge guy. You want to hear what D tackle or linebacker or anything like that?
I don't want to hear linebacker. We got 4 white guys positioning for
Jerzon
playing time
Newton
there.
is the tackle from
Illinois.
Braden Fisk, right?
Okay.
Chris Jenkins from Michigan, really good player. Your favorite guy, Mason Smith.
No,
Devondre
please
Sweat.
God, no.
A lot of good defensive tackles left.
Hmm.
A lot of good defensive tackles left. Still no corners taken yet. No defensive backs taken yet. So Miami has lost Christian Wilkins, Andrew Van Ginkel, Brandon Jones, Xavier Howard, Jerome Baker, Deshaun Elliott, Eli Apple, and Raekwon Davis, and they just got a steal with Chop Robinson.
Chop Robinson's a really good athlete.
I very much agree. Very much.
Who did Jacksonville take, by the way?
They haven't picked yet. They picked. They got Philadelphia, and then them. They moved back to 23 when Minnesota traded into Dallas Turner. But the ones we've missed so far, Marius Mims goes to Cincinnati, Jared Verse to the Rams, Troy Fatanu to the Steelers, and Chop Robinson to Miami. Just a lot of guys you thought would have went, maybe earlier or later. I don't know. Do y'all have any ones y'all thought who got taken a little too early?
Well, there's a lot that I think got taken
Well,
too
I'm
early.
talking about the guys we've missed.
Um,
Talking about the Falcons for the last hour.
I mean, I kind of like the picks that have been made. They make sense. I mean, it makes
the
sense.
team that drafted them. Honestly.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
No, I'm
what
with
it
you. I'm with you there. I mean, I'm looking at this, Ralph, and the Eagles. I don't know what they need.
They can take about it. They need a center maybe or guard because what's his name's will step in the center this year for them.
ESPN's got their number one need as a corner. So Quinyon Mitchell, who's the
Quinyon
number one
Mitchell,
corner.
maybe.
I mean, if you're saying, I mean, that would make sense. You did mention tackle and guard. You know, I really do think they would have taken a look at
Hall of
Amarius
Famer
Mims.
Jason Kelsey,
Why,
but
okay. Why is
guard,
ESPN showing a highlight of Chop Robinson sacking TJ Finley? That is not a highlight. I
Who
mean,
is
the three
the-
of us could have got out there and got to TJ Finley and probably brought him to the ground.
Not Texas State version, that's for sure.
No, the Auburn version. That's how pitiful that Auburn team was. I was at that game too.
So Ralph, I'm going through. I'm just looking through all this.
no,
Watch
I'm
the
trying to
Eagles
figure
take
out who I'm
Lad
thinking of.
McConkey just to keep the Georgia streak going.
So Landon Dickinson will play center for the Eagles next year.
Okay.
They re-signed him. gave
He
him
got
a
that big contract. Yeah. Bought a
He bought him
lawnmower.
a mower. He bought him a mower. He bought him a Ryan mower. He takes over the Hall of Famer Jason Kelsey's spot, which is where he probably should have been playing in the first place as center. I think it's what he was bred to play.
Gavin, I was thinking the same thing. Where does Shanker sell insurance these days? No, he convinced On to Victory to give him NIL money for 4 years. He probably doesn't have to work.
Yeah, I think they got Quinyon Mitchell here, Bryce.
Okay.
Now, if they wanted to keep the Georgia streak alive and go defense, they could reach on the Javon Bullard.
Or take Kamari Lassiter if you wanted a corner.
Lad
Who
McConkey.
left for them? God, what's his name? I can't think of his name now. So they're starting corners right now. You have well, not starting, but corners. You have James Bradbury. Eli Ricks is there. Keely Ringo. Darius Slay still there. Isaiah Rogers. Zach McPherson, did he play? I think this past year. They had a lot of injuries in the secondary for them this year. The pick should be in just a second. It looks like they're on the phone. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it's going to be Quinyon Mitchell. Honestly.
So the Falcoholic is SB Nation's account.
Yeah.
This is interesting to me, just kind of to read. And obviously, look, we're talking about this because we have a lot of Tech fans. We got a lot of SEC fans. The Falcons are the popular team, I guess, in the Southeast in terms of NFL fandom. I understand all that. But I mean, also too, just from a national perspective, if you're covering this pick is nuts. Like, I think that's one thing we've walked away from tonight, knowing like this isn't just a conversation amongst Atlanta media. This is everybody. So I wanted to get this real quick to you guys. The Falcoholic over on Twitter says the thing is they had to know this would be a deeply unpopular pick among 90% of the fan base in the here and the now. They had to be certainly aware of the perception of the world. If not, that's super concerning. It's an unbelievable level of belief that Penix would be a really, really good quarterback. Staggering, really. He said this is kind of where they felt is that they really must have loved Penix and thought he was the right long-term option for what they wanted to do. That can be true, but it can also be true that this pick makes the contract for Cousins and the pick look absolutely ridiculous. But if Cousins is great in 24 and 25 and Penix is really good to great at 26 beyond, nobody's going to care. If none of that happens, well, then there's a massive issue. I think if this is, and this is the last kind of thing I'll say on it, and we'll just keep moving on to some more picks. If this doesn't work out, the Falcons are going to have a complete organizational reset. In terms of like, I think Raheem Morris's timeline has completely. I don't think the idea of a championship window extending is a joke to me now at this point. Like, I don't think it is. It's the here and now.
You don't have a defense. You don't have a defense.
Yeah. Quinyon Mitchell to the Eagles makes sense. They needed a corner. Yeah.
Solid pick. It's a great pick.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, Jonesy.
Oh yeah. Jonesy says he's headed out going to the gym tomorrow morning. 200 people watching live. Hey, make sure if you have not already, like the stream, follow us on social media if you have not. You guys got to work tomorrow?
Yep.
Probably.
I mean, my thinking is I would be up watching the draft anyway. So,
gosh, dude, this is taking forever. Is this going to go past 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 10:45, dude. We still got some picks left.
All right, so the Jags, Dallas is at 24. Who do you guys think they go with?
I honestly don't even know.
What is this?
They've sold themselves on keeping the running backs they have.
Their top need, Ralph, is receiver. Would they go with
Brian
Xavier
Thomas.
Worthy or Brian Thomas?
Okay,
I
so
think the safe pick's Brian Thomas.
Yeah, I think so. What were you going to say,
is
right,
this
Will?
tweet from JBen at JMB_CU16. Don't know who this is. Claims he got a text. This claims this is the text he got, and this is a quote. First 7 played out as we expected. Blank overrode Terry 3 minutes before we were on the clock.
He's got to go, man.
He later says they selected a left-handed QB, which makes Caleb McGarry the blindside tackle. Let that sink in.
Oh, my God.
You could have never said anything, Will, and we've been okay. Because Bryce didn't even think about that at first. Oh no!
And you have an offensive line
this
that's
is
not
from
even
Zach
built for
Klein.
offense.
This is from Zach Klein of WSB. Falcons owner Arthur Blank wanted a succession plan to Kirk Cousins. They are win now mode and don't plan on drafting in the top 20 anytime soon. They get 5 years of control with Penix, and he'll learn from one of the best in the business. The top comment: succession planning. What is this? A royal family? Home Depot?
Home Depot. The one who just ran at Home Depot ran it to the ground, just like she's running another company into the ground.
You can't like those. That doesn't make sense. How can you be win now and then take a quarterback at number 8? You can't be.
Well, the comment of they don't plan on taking or picking in the top 10 or top 20 in the next few years is wild.
You'll be back in the top 10 next year.
Just guess what? You might be in the top 5 next year.
No, I don't think the Falcons will be that bad.
I mean, they'll be top 15 pick.
Right at home.
Also, Howie Roseman's a really, really good GM for the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he took a lot of flack.
You want to
early
hear
on
a quick
from
stat
Chip
here?
Kelly.
Quinyon Mitchell. He didn't allow a touchdown in 402 coverage snaps in 2023. I don't care what conference you play in. That's really, really good.
That's insane.
He has
They play
32.
non-conference.
I don't know. Let's look that up. Ran a 4.33 in the 40, so he's got speed. 32 pass breakups since 2022. That's 7 more than any other FBS player.
6 foot 195. Just a solid player, man. He's just a great athlete, honestly. He tore it up the Senior Bowl. Tore it up the Senior Bowl.
I mean, we're just trying to be a problem, aren't we? DeAndre Baker vibes.
Wow.
Okay, let's see. They played
Notre Dame.
not in 2023. They played Illinois.
You sure?
Yep,
Toledo?
looking at the schedule right now. Toledo
I
Rockets.
feel like Sam Hartman at quarterback in that video I just watched.
They played Illinois, Texas Southern, San Jose State, Western Michigan, Northern Illinois, UMass, Ball State, Miami, Ohio, Buffalo, Eastern Michigan, Bowling Green, Central Michigan, Miami, Ohio. But yeah, Bryce, you're right. That is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it doesn't translate.
I hope so.
Also, we haven't really talked about this. Let's have this conversation. Let's move away from Atlanta for a little bit.
Please.
Guys, did Las Vegas make a mistake?
No.
You just
Hey,
drafted
brother.
Michael Mayer last year.
No.
But he's a true
They took
tight
the
end.
best available player.
Yeah.
And it just happened to double up because the Falcons
like
screwed everybody and took Michael Penix.
Also, Brock Bowers was better than Michael Meyer. That's bad for my fantasy team in my dynasty because I have Michael Meyer. I just remembered that. No, I don't think you really can ever go wrong taking the best player available.
Fair enough.
Are they drafting too high to think about that? Yeah, probably. They should have
Bryce,
really.
Bryce
They probably
has to
should have
know.
tried to fill a need, but
the best
I mean,
available player now is Cooper.
it's a
DeJean.
generational player.
Yeah, well, he's not in my book. So
Do you think Dallas
Jaguars
takes
are on
him?
the-
if Dallas takes him, I
Jaguars-
mean,
There's no way Dallas takes Cooper DeJean, right?
That fan
Jaguars
base
You
is
are
see him
on
on the
clock.
Packers. I can see the Packers taking
They
him.
were picking. Jaguars.
Why is
picking us
that?
in.
all right, who we going with Jags? Let's guess here. I'm going.
What
Do
do
they need a receiver? I don't even know what they need.
I have no clue what their needs are. I don't know who's
They
available.
need a corner, receiver, D tackle, O tackle, edge. A lot. Best available
Cooper
for them,
DeJean.
Terrion Arnold. Best fit is Jay Newton. Jerzon Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah, he's good.
Out of those two, you probably see. They're going defense though.
No, they should take a quarterback. You know, since they've got Trevor Lawrence and traded for Mac Jones this offseason.
Brian
Spencer
Thomas
Rattler is
Jr.
the best available quarterback.
Brian Thomas
He's
Jr.
still
to
on
the
the
Jags.
board?
Really?
Great pick. Didn't realize he was on the board.
Adam Schefter talks Atlanta selecting Michael Penix. Raheem Morris loved Michael Penix. The Falcons felt they couldn't wait. Here's another interesting thing. Y'all want to go back? Updated look at last year's Panthers-Bears trade. The Bears got DJ Moore.
Panthers are
just got fleeced.
feeble.
The Bears got DJ Moore. They got Darnell Wright, which was their 2023 first round pick last year. They got Tyreek Stevenson, who turned out to be pretty decent. Caleb Williams. They got a second round pick next year, and the Panthers got Bryce Young.
Yup. And CJ Stroud ended up being the better quarterback of that draft.
Is Ryan Poles the best GM in the league?
I know a few people on Twitter who would say so.
I mean, the winning hasn't been there, but man, like that trade enough
The
is
future
worth an
is
extension.
looking bright for Chicago, and especially with them announcing that there are $5 billion additions they want to do to the stadium.
Yeah, that's not going to happen
Hmm.
because they're going to make the citizens of Chicago pay for half of it. No way that's going to happen. What a pick by Jacksonville taking Brian Thomas.
It's a solid pick. I mean, I don't think you could have gone wrong with him, Terrion Arnold, or Jersey. I really don't. All three of those guys are super talented, obviously, and Brian Thomas. I mean, Bryce, you can quote on this one better. He's just like he's a
What
really
did you
good,
just read?
Ralph, I don't want to interrupt you, so I want. Will, did
go
you
ahead,
just
sir.
read what I just read?
No.
I don't even think I want to say this live. I don't think I want to, because I don't know how we're going to react to it, and I don't think it's appropriate. We've had some interesting, colorful content on here tonight. I think this
Save
is
it.
too. I think this is
Say
a
it, say it.
no. I think this is. I don't want to say it.
Say it.
I don't want to say it. It's public knowledge. I mean, it's tweeted out there by Woj. It's NBA. Did y'all see Joel Embiid the other night?
No. I know
Like-
he scored 50 tonight.
No, like blinking and like couldn't control his muscular. You didn't see that in his post-game interview?
No.
He's been treating for a mild case of Bell's palsy.
really.
He scored 50 points tonight.
It began during the
insane.
play-in victory. He wanted to keep it private, and of course, Woj tweeted it out. But anyways,
crazy.
that's wild. I didn't know how we were going to react to that and if what was going to happen. Anyways, so you give Dallas, Green Bay, Tampa Bay. I could see Terry and Arnold going to. Hey, check out my interview with Brian Thomas Jr. presented by Head and Shoulders for Men. Brian Thomas Jr. is an unbelievable basketball player, by the way. Probably could have helped LSU's men's team this past year,
I mean, he played for a football team that played basketball on grass, so.
essentially.
So you're saying Terry and Arnold to Dallas? Bryce?
I think Terry and Arnold. I think that they need because let's kind of walk through who is their corner opposite of Trevon Diggs. Diggs had the injury, but they also had that guy that kind of stood out last past season. I don't know their whole situation.
I don't either. We don't know anything.
We really just kind of covered like the first 7 picks and then talked for an hour and a half about the Falcons.
Well, because the Falcons just
Deron Bland.
He had a pretty good year, like didn't he?
yeah, he did.
They got him and then Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson's safety. So they added Eric Kendricks this year.
They go offensive line here. I kind of would lean offensive line, but who's there? Jerzon Newton? No, he's defensive line. He wouldn't be bad.
No, it'd be a good pick.
Look at that. That is who Arthur Blank aspires to be right there at the head of that table.
Christian Haynes is number 1 overall offensive guard from UConn. Graham Barton's number 1.
Who is that guy on the bottom right?
This
Ralph, look at the guy on the bottom right. Ralph, look at
somebody needs to give him some air advice. Good night.
That draft room it's got to be.
Also, they look like they're sitting on the Death Star or something. Like they look like the evil empire.
He's a Sith Lord. He deals in absolutes. I'll be right back.
To answer your question though, Will, the best offensive line you got Graham Barton's the center from Duke. Now he could go in and be
play guard probably. Slide to
well,
guard.
no, I mean he could be the. I mean Zach Martin's there, and Zach Martin and TJ Bass are there, and both of them had really good years last year. The Brock Hoffman, who was our starting center last year, is he? I don't know. Is he there much longer? I don't know where you go in this position. I mean, they
could go Barton. I'm kind of liking that. They need a defensive tackle. Like, would they go Jerzon Newton?
D tackle they got. I can't even say that guy's name. They got Mozzie Smith from last year. They drafted him. And DeMarcus Lawrence still there. They got Micah Parsons. I don't know if they go defensive line. I mean, their defensive front is nasty.
It is. Yeah, I think it's got to be Barton here.
Yeah, Barton, and they go, just go get that quarterback, please. Just go get Spencer Rattler, please. Just throw it for a loop tonight. Give me some reason to just laugh one more time tonight.
I hope everybody watching was able to catch what we were talking about. That guy in the.
If you missed it, go back, run your TV back. If you have the ability to go back and replay what happened, go back.
Go back and look at that guy on the bottom right
corner, first guy. That man, his hair, and when he, I promise you, if he went to shake his head just moves like this one little movement here. It's just that stuff is solid. There's so much hair gel in that hair, you can't even move.
Oh my gosh,
Bryce, we're thinking offensive line here for Dallas. I think it's Graham Barton from Duke. You can go Christian Haynes or Now they got so the 5th overall offensive guard should be a lot higher, but obviously for what happened last year, he's not. And that's Zach Zinter from Michigan.
Broke his leg, right?
Yeah, so he's out for majority of next year anyway. But he would be a good pick to have for a future, moving forward in the next few years. If you're looking to fill in for a spot for someone who's a little older.
I want to apologize to the people watching here tonight.
To absolutely no one.
I want to apologize to people who thought they were going to watch a full draft reaction and they missed 14 picks because Will and I had a emotional breakdown.
Oh, Dallas traded their pick to Detroit. The Lions are on the clock.
Oh.
Bryce, I'm not sure anybody is disappointed because we've got 211 people watching.
We still have one potential guest, but I don't know if we're going to make it to 11:30 Eastern.
Oh my gosh, do the Lions take Terry and Arnold here? They have
Also,
Brian Branch and Terry Arnold out there.
That'd be a great pick.
That'd be a solid pick for them. Their defense would be gross. I got to fix this now.
I mean, you think about Ralph, like when they lost, like they needed some better pass defense. They've got the front seven.
Yeah. They have, yeah. That's what I was saying about Dallas. Dallas's front seven is nasty. What would you trade? What would you change up front? I think you just go. You go your D lineman maybe, or you go O line. I just don't think there's an offensive player.
I wonder if the Lions gave up the 29th pick, because ESPN still had it on the ticker as 29 going to the Lions.
I have not seen what they gave up yet.
Surely the Cowboys would make them give them the 29th pick.
You would think. They took Terry Arnold. I mean, that's the smartest pick. Their defense is nasty. They got exactly what they needed, and they're happy. Lions fans about to be, they're going crazy there.
All right, Cooper DeJean to Green Bay.
Watch your mouth.
It just makes sense.
No.
I don't even want you to detail why it makes sense. Like, I really don't want you to.
I don't know what it is. There's just something about him I trust.
He's got a good head on his shoulders.
He's a smart player, gritty,
cerebral.
Plays the game hard. Plays the game real hard.
Nah, Detroit's fun. Like, it'd be fun to be a Detroit fan right now because their franchise made some good decisions.
Yeah.
Took them long enough. I mean, ESPN is selling every little bit of advertising space they can. Green Room Cam built by Lowe's. Now, I don't know how many times y'all have been in a Lowe's in your lifetime, but I've been in there enough to know that they do not build cameras.
I was in there the other day. I bought some blinds from them. Pretty self-explanatory to put up. No cameras, though.
I didn't yet see what they gave up, though.
Ralph, you got to be working the phones and the sources right now. Ralph's also doing 500 different things.
You got to be refreshing Twitter a lot faster than what you're doing right now.
Let's talk a little bit about that Jags pick, though. Brian Thomas Jr., when you go get him, the guy burst onto the scene this past year. Will, kind of like your podcast
Everybody
episode tomorrow.
is watching on Twitter. That is mind-blowing.
It's cool. It's really fun. I think we have 8 people now watching. 8 people watching, I swear.
6 on YouTube, 2 on Facebook.
I'm about ready to shut the Facebook down, to be honest with you. But guys, there's no more excuse for Trevor Lawrence now, is there?
Well,
I mean, he's got more weapons.
Wasn't last year basically his rookie year?
I mean, yeah, Urban Meyer was a joke.
Yeah.
I don't know if you say excuses, but I mean, you definitely got to see him take that step. Although they did have that big comeback win in the playoffs.
Can the Falcons draft this kid on the edge? Can he play edge?
Number 9 there.
Yeah.
King.
No, I'm at Holly.
Oh.
The girl on the left, the Griffins, she's from daggum Harry Potter world.
Okay. All right.
Tell you one thing, she looks like that character. Good
Why is she
grief.
giving Roger Goodell a hug?
Because she can't front hug him because that
The
nose
Lions
she
trade
got
the
on.
Cowboys. Dallas gets the 29th pick and the 73rd pick.
Rochester Community School flag football team. These Lions fans could you just say the pick, please? We don't care about any of this. Twitter's known for 20 minutes. Terry and Arnold. That's a good pick. Terry Arnold's a good guy. Let him naysayer know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we're going to do. Will, are we doing a show Monday when you're at the beach?
I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing though.
Play
I
by
don't know if
ear.
y'all watched it.
Honest to
but,
God, you and y'all don't need to go to the beach because she needs to be up in Arthur Blank's office figuring out what the heck's going on. Vacation canceled.
Well, I'll tell you this: she and evidently everybody she was around, which she was at the draft watch party. Nobody understands.
Okay, so let us in on that. Like,
Nobody's
what was
happy.
that like? What was the atmosphere of the draft party like?
Well, I wasn't really told anything.
Mhm.
But the first thing she texted me as it happened was, "WTF." So the impression I got was nobody likes the pick.
It's a good pick by. I mean, I ask you, is it that hard to make the right decision?
Apparently.
Now, Ralph, how are you feeling about your Buffalo Bills coming up here in a couple picks?
Super machine.
Lunch pail kid, I love that.
Oh,
Goaty
it's
Goffington.
Pete, tell him what you thought about the Falcons pick.
Just,
Pete looks like you did about 2 hours ago and you wanted to re-up Sherman's march.
just be there when Sherman's march of the sea was there.
Jeez. Either be there or recreate it.
He wanted the Falcons to be there. Yeah, Terry Arnold, solid pick. I mean, it
Ralph
complements
recreates
Brian Branch
that
really well. Brian Branch played a
weekly.
lot of nickel for the Lions this past year.
Yeah.
You go back to that first game of the year when they were in KC, and Brian Branch, I mean, he had a field day. I mean, he was causing issues all throughout the night. That Thursday night football game. I think that everyone had Kansas City winning that game by a lot, and Detroit came in there and smacked them. I think they said the best. They hit him in the mouth, and Brian Branch was the focal point of that game. And he had a big interception early on, and now you got someone to compliment him on the opposite side. I mean, that's a deadly duo. Two young defensive backs who were really talented. I mean, and now you got Aiden Hutchinson up front. They're loaded.
You think about their last couple picks, the Patriots draft 3 of them from Alabama. Winning program.
Yeah.
Winning mentality.
Programs. That's same with Georgia.
Bryce,
Shout out Terry Nunner real quick. My first ever crystal ball prediction. There we go. Keep going.
Bryce, do you want to hear some text messages from those individuals you banned earlier?
Sure. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. It's past their bedtime, I believe.
Green Bay is taking
Person
Jordan
one.
Morgan.
Who?
Arizona offensive tackle Jordan Morgan.
So, first says the NFL is a troll. What was that pick by the Jags? Second person. Who did they get? First person. Some dude named Brian Thomas or something. He's a wide receiver from LSU.
I mean, that is
Person
the
one.
Definition of a
Person
rock
two.
dweller.
Oh. Some dude named Brian Thomas or something.
All right, we're going to bring in one more guest. We'll probably round the show out with this.
Bryce,
you guys want to
before-
stay up for the whole first round or no?
But before you
I don't care.
went on,
I'm here.
Bring up that Woj tweet. I was saying Brian Thomas was he's a more of a 50-50 like a 50-50 ball kind of guy, really, honestly. I mean, he's obviously got speed and talent, but I mean, if you want a guy with a one-on-one,
He can go up and get it.
I mean, it was the Ole Miss game when he almost caught the ball in the back of the end zone. He went up over everybody.
Yeah,
I think I remember watching it, and you texted me Brian Thomas leaped over half the team.
it was ridiculous.
So, I mean, for him to get taken right here, Jacksonville got a lock of a good receiver for the future for them.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, no, I mean, I like Brian Thomas Jr., speed guy, really burst on the scene, great leaping ability, can go vertical. And look, I mean, they
inside of Terry and Arnold's jacket.
Oh yeah, let a naysayer know.
Like,
I'll say if you go back and watch it, right before Quinyon Mitchell was drafted, you can see him look over the wall. Terry and Arnold look over the wall, I guess, where Mitchell was at, and you could hear. I guess you could hear someone celebrating that he got drafted. and his face is kind of started shaking his head like, okay, like
Like he thinks he's better.
Yeah,
Probably.
but no one ever knows the answer to that
I
because
mean, he played at Alabama.
But
Quinyon Mitchell
I
played
can
at
see him,
Toledo.
making a comment. Look, going down there in the fan section that's pretty sick.
All right, we got a guest here with us, and it's Bo Morgan, Atlanta Falcons Radio Network, leaving the draft show. Bo, I know you're literally in the car driving through the Atlanta traffic. I appreciate you taking the time.
Should we get home first?
He said he's willing to do it now. Is this? Are we good, Bo? Are you good to talk?
Hey, the 3 a.m. wake up call I have in the morning comes early, so the car is better than anything.
All right, Bo, walk me through the reaction from you guys in Atlanta when you see Michael Penix's name come across, and maybe where a lot of us are struggling is kind of the logic of this pick. You commit that much money to Kirk Cousins and you go draft what perceivably is going to be a backup for at least 2 years at the very least going forward. Your thoughts, though?
Well, I was at the stadium for the draft party. That's where we had our 92-90 game broadcast from, and it was a little bit of a gasp in that stadium. I mean, it's just kind of like the air went out. And I hate to use that term as someone that travels with a team and everything. It just felt like you'd popped a balloon. I don't understand the logic. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat things. It's very surprising for me that's the route you decide to go when you spend what you spent on Kirk Cousins. I know Kirk Cousins, from all reports, was surprised by it. Did not expect a quarterback to be drafted in the first round. This is one of those situations where for 2 years you kind of waffled with nothing. You had no succession plan for Matt Ryan other than just a home run ball at Deshaun Watson, which would have been a critical error in its own right after seeing what he has signed for and what he's done in Cleveland. So that's the only thing I mean, I'm assuming that you're hoping for 2 years, but to me, when you sign a quarterback to what they signed Kirk Cousins guaranteed, which was what, $100 million essentially for the first 2 years guaranteed, you're telling me that you're in win now mode. And when you're in win now mode, you don't draft players at 8 overall after 3 straight 7 and 10 seasons to sit on the bench for multiple years. That just doesn't that doesn't make any sense. And so I am very interested to hear the press conference that will happen at the end of the first round with Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris that they have. I understand preparing for the future, but I've said on the air many times, Terry Fontenot needs to win now, and he could have just drafted a quarterback that maybe, if they don't win in the next 3 years, win games, make the playoffs. He might have drafted a quarterback for someone else to get success under.
Yeah, no, that we talked about that. And look, we were talking with some other media personalities, some folks over at 92.9 The Game, a couple other people, and they were just talking about this defense. I mean, it needs some help. It needs some assistance. You're moving into a new scheme where you have some pieces that are, for lack of better words, Bo, they're weird fits with what you kind of have going on. Is there still hope? What can the fans look forward to? Because you obviously have a second-round pick and 2 third-round picks that you can still go get some pieces. This draft's been crazy, by the way, with the lack of defensive players taken in the first round. Where does Atlanta go from here? I mean, do they have to focus defense, in your opinion? What is the sense of urgency? Because you really couldn't do a lot in free agency now that, now with the draft here, you kind of got to go fill those needs there.
I thought they had to focus on defense with the first 2 picks to start. To be honest, we did on our show this morning, me and Mike Johnson, who obviously played for the Falcons and University of Alabama, we did a mock draft, 7 rounds, and we both traded back and got defensive edge players. Look, the best thing in the world right now, and I know the first round's kind of finishing up, and I know Quinyon Mitchell went off the board, and all 3 of the top edge guys that were kind of in some ways mocked to the Falcons, which was Latu, Verse, and Dallas Turner are off, and Byron Murphy, who I think could have probably been in some eyes the best defensive lineman overall in the draft, are all gone. But you've still got and Chop Robinson is gone as well. But you've got the kid from Missouri who had a really good Senior Bowl. I think he's a very good player. Chris Braswell, last I checked, was still out there. Alabama edge player who was opposite and really is a good player. And you've got the defensive tackle. The last I checked, Johnny Newton was still on the board, who was the Big Ten Player of the Year, Illinois. And I mean, him and Byron Murphy, 1A and 1B, they can all play. Especially Murphy can play that 3 technique that can slide outside at times in an Aaron Donald type role. But you've got those guys. The cornerbacks are deep. Kamari Lassiter is still a guy that could be out there, and maybe the 3rd round. I know Terran Arnold, to my thought process, I don't think he's been taken yet. And I know he'll be taken probably by the time this airs if this isn't live. But
he just got taken, and you are live.
Okay, well there you go. So both of those happen at once. But there's still guys. Braden Fisk is a guy, a defensive tackle that I absolutely love. He's a Florida State guy, so I can't overly love that about him, but he's a really good player. But they've got to address it. They have got to find ways to address it, and there's still some guys in free agency, though. Let's not, especially the defense in the secondary. Akello Witherspoon is a guy that played for the Rams last year that I am kind of shocked that he hasn't already signed somewhere. He had a good year last year, and I think he's a guy that could be picked up. And to my knowledge, he has not signed it. I've been kind of trying to follow him. But they have to address defense. But they go with this.
Wow, Darius Robinson just went to the Buccaneers.
No, to the Cardinals.
To the Cardinals at 27. Wow.
That's a guy that a lot of people had that kind of early. But what's happened is the other 3 edge players were off, and the Cardinals thought that was a need, and they're clearly drafting for need. But look, I've said this too. The best player available thing. When teams say that, we hear that as fans, and we go, well, all we've seen is Mel Kiper and Phil Yates and Daniel Jeremiah and all their draft boards, and we think that best player available is the player at 27 or 28 or in that range that they had there, and that's just not the case with a lot of these teams. Now, they'll some of these teams draft for need though, and they'll reach for need, and I'm wondering if the Cardinals didn't maybe draft a guy early. But then again, you're at 27, Bryce. 27 is so late in the first that anybody that's got an early second grade can kind of be picked up there. So
yeah. No, I got the chance to watch Darius Robinson down in Mobile back in January, February, and I mean, he's got the length, he's got the explosiveness off the edge, and the size as a guy that, I think he's going to be fun to watch and how he develops in his NFL career. But, Bo, man, we appreciate it. You said you got that early wake-up call. I don't doubt that tomorrow morning is going to be one for the ages in Atlanta radio. Are you what's the expectation when you open up those phone lines, if you guys do on your show tomorrow?
Oh, no, we will on a day like tomorrow. We will absolutely open up phone lines. I'm expecting a lot of dismay and some anger. I was sitting there with my headsets on doing the draft show, and I think the gentleman was only raising his voice to make sure I could hear him, but he was very angry and somewhat yelling at me. His facial expressions was not one of joy, so I'm expecting a little bit of that. I think there's some people that are probably happy. I knew a couple people that are listeners, and they follow and they interact with us a lot, and they wanted Penix, even with Kirk Cousins. But we have a huge show tomorrow. We'll have obviously Falcons radio guy Dave Archer, analyst, will join us, and then we'll have Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer, who new Alabama head coach, but formerly of the Washington Huskies, who was Michael Penix's coach the last 2 years. He will join us at 8 a.m. sharp. And look, we're gonna find out who he is. And I want to say that, look, I don't dislike the player, Michael Penix. I dislike the player being taken at 8 to the Falcons. And because we talked with Brock Heward, former Washington quarterback, analyst for Fox Sports, college football, and who obviously used to do Pac-12 games, and he works for the 710 in Seattle. Talked to him. What was it? I guess today's still Thursday, so Wednesday morning, and he said that Brock Heward was the best pure passer that University of Washington has ever had. And I said, wait a second. I named a couple of guys, and he's like, you missed some. Don't forget Warren Moon. And then he dropped a few. Marcus Tuiosa-Sopo, and I had mentioned guys like Brunell and both Heward brothers and such. And that's how the high praise he had for Penix. And I think it's probably a system that, with what Zach Robinson may want to run, I think it could fit him. All of that said, I could talk nicely about the player and still not like the pick. And I don't like the pick. And I think a lot of people won't. I think a lot of people might have that mindset. So that's what I'm expecting. A wide range of emotions, but I would say there's going to be, an 80-20 of dismay or upset with the selection there.
Bo Morgan over 92.9 The Game obviously does a lot of Falcon stuff too. Bo, before we get you out of here, let people know where they can find y'all's show and just everything that you're a part of over there in Atlanta.
Yeah, morning shift, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Mike Johnson, Tiffany Blackman, and myself do the show every morning. You can find me all things Atlanta Falcons Radio. I produce and travel with the team, and on Twitter at SquidBilly929. That's the nickname, obviously, but it'll come up as Bo Morgan as well. And look, if you tweet me, we'll interact most likely, unless you're rude, and I'll just mute you and let you sit there and talk to yourself on the internet. But I love to interact with all the fans and listeners. It's kind of it's a hobby, I guess, at this point. But I really do. I'm a fan at heart, so I always love touching base with guys and talking. So anytime anybody hits me up, Bryce, you and I have interacted a lot on Twitter. So that's just how it goes.
Awesome. Bo, we appreciate the time, man. You making the time to come on, and we'll have to get you on, obviously, as the season gets closer, training camp and everything. But, man, glad we could connect and make this happen. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me anytime. Glad we can make it work. Sorry it's so dark in the car, but that's what 75 North looks like at 11:20. Sounds good, Bo. Appreciate you, man. All right. See you guys. Great guest there, Bo Morgan. Good stuff. And I think, too, kind of wraps up the Falcons talk. That's a guy that is going to, one, he knows more than he's being led on to. Being a guy that travels with the team, he gets to see the intricacies of how this works.
Right. Do you want one more guest? It's a guest we've had many a times.
Is it who I think it is?
I don't know who you think it is.
Is it someone I texted about coming on the show earlier? And
he just texted me, so I guess if he both has our numbers, I'm sure it's the same person.
Is it start with a P?
Yes.
Why not? Let's round out the first round with the Crowd of Booth loyal guest. Well. We Will still got the Winnie the Pooh Cup.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what the Winnie the Pooh Cup is.
I don't either.
Since we've been talking, Darius Robinson wearing a very, very bright suit tonight.
But you know what? I got the chance to watch Robinson in Mobile. And I agree with what Bo said. If you have a early second round grade, it's not at pick 27. It's not crazy, for them to go do that. Well, here we go.
Everyone's favorite
Palmer.
person in the world.
Palmer, we are
everyone's favorite class.
Palmer, we are just.
Oh, we have a trade. The Chiefs are on the clock.
Chiefs just traded with Buffalo. Great, so they can take Xavier Worthy. Palmer, your thoughts,
Probably.
Man?
I figured y'all might need some life joining the show.
You're a Titans fan, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm
about
in
Tennessee?
Nashville. How I feel about it. I wish. I wish Joe Alt had been there for the Titans to take. Obviously, he wasn't. But I'm curious to see how JC Latham works out for the Titans. And, Yeah, I mean, I think that you listen to the comments of these guys talking about Latham and talking about all these offensive tackles, and you know, my biggest concern was that he played majority of his career at Alabama at right tackle.
Hmm.
Titans have said that they're going to start him at left tackle, and so that, you know, take a deep breath. We feel better about that. Titans addressed, you know, the left side of the offensive line with Peter Skoronski last year. He's playing guard. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Would I have preferred to see maybe a sexier pick? Absolutely. Brock Bowers was available, and Georgia fans and everyone probably knows how I feel about him. Think he would have been an incredible player. Little bit holding out some hope that the Titans are able to get a Georgia player here in the second round before too long.
Xavier Worthy, by the way.
To the Chiefs.
Yep.
Palmer,
No surprise there.
can you talk Will and I off the ledge, please?
With the Falcons?
Well, first,
We're both ready to jump.
No, I can't, because I laughed hysterically when it happened.
I did too. No, you should have seen me live, Palmer. It was bad.
we got to go back and clip that. That was unbelievable.
I was able to say
I
it
was-
first. It was just.
I was sitting here with some folks, and they were like, "What is wrong with you, Palmer?" And I'm like, I just love watching everybody that I went to college with not enjoy watching the Falcons. Look, in all seriousness, I do think that there is something that you can sell there. Is Penix the quarterback I would have taken? Probably not. I think all these quarterbacks kind of got overrated a little bit. To see 6 go in the top 12 picks, just absolutely crazy. There is no world in which Bo Nix was the 12th best player in this draft.
No, I said it when Denver drafted. I said, John Elway, thank you for not making Michael Penix the worst pick of the first round.
Yeah,
Number 8.
yeah.
Thank you. And everybody knows that watches this show how I feel about Bo Nix.
We got some love for Palmer.
I love how, by the way, this is hilarious. Palmer, UGA beat writer. It's Quay Searcy jumping into the end zone, beating Georgia. Palmer, I don't even think you were at Georgia then when that happened. That's
God,
how long ago it's
I-
been since Tech's beaten anybody notable.
I haven't seen Tech play Georgia even remotely close.
Oh God! Oh God!
No. This last year was somewhat close. Guys,
Paul,
what do y'all think about Brock Bowers and Amarius Mims? Where they went? I mean,
I said this.
That's what I'm
Okay.
on here to.
Yeah, that's what you're on here. So
probably the best educated to share about.
Yeah, so I said this, and Will quickly rebuked me. Which I get this. I'm just maybe playing devil's advocate here.
I'm sorry, Alex. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you sad.
You just drafted Michael Mayer last year, and you draft Brock Bowers. And I know, look, I get it. Is Brock Bowers just that too valuable to let go if you're Las Vegas? Like, how did you feel about that?
I mean, I don't think it's the best place for Brock, because now I do think it's cool that West Coast guy, he's going to be out, you know, on the West Coast playing his professional football. Do I think that, you know, and transcribing all the comments of the ESPN folks, quarterback is absolutely a concern there. Now, you're not taking a 7th quarterback in 13 picks when the Raiders went.
Spencer Rattler to Las Vegas?
And because the Raiders, you know, because those quarterbacks went so early, the Raiders are able to get a guy like Brock Bowers at 13. Now, maybe he would have, you know, gone there if, you know, instead of seeing Bo Nix and Michael Penix get drafted in the top 12, we saw, you know, some defensive players. But, you know, I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't know that Bowers is going to have an incredible rookie year. Now, a player like him can make a quarterback look a lot better. And I think when you look, we saw what he was capable of doing in a 2 tight end system at Georgia.
Yeah.
Plenty. You know, and I think that is its own brand of football. And Antonio Pierce, first year head coach there, maybe wants to play more physical football. Obviously, you know, former linebacker. So, you know, once again, Brock Bowers going to play for a defensive-minded head coach that wants to be physical and utilize the tight ends. I'm interested to see it. I do think that it can work out there. And look, if the Raiders aren't great and Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew aren't the answer, there's always next year to draft a quarterback because half the league seemed to take one tonight.
Yeah, Carson Beck next year.
Yeah, put Carson Beck with Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I just felt where they were at 13 with kind of the craziness of the first 12 picks. They were smart to take the best player available right there. I mean, you can't go wrong with getting Brock Bowers.
No, and all along I had been saying, look, some team is going to get, you know, at some point is going to have, whether the board doesn't meet their needs or they don't necessarily have a massive hole. Admittedly, I'm not all too familiar with the Raiders roster. I do know that they've got a pair of Georgia players there. Got Devontae Adams, got Jacoby Myers, got those two quarterbacks I mentioned. You know, I don't know what their offensive line looks like. You know, but if they needed offensive line, there certainly were offensive linemen for the taking there. But, you know, if they didn't have a glaring hole, take the best available player and help out those, you know, Gardner Minshew, some mid quarterbacks, and, you know, put a really, really good playmaker there. Brock Bowers I feel confident in saying Brock Bowers, in terms of best available players, one of the top 5 players in this draft. I mean, definitely top 10. You look at, you know, Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kiper had him at 7 overall. To get a player like that at 13 could be a huge, huge steal. And we could all be laughing, you know, if we weren't laughing hard enough at the teams that reached for quarterbacks, we could be laughing at them much harder later on down the road.
I'm not sure I'll watch the NFL much longer for that to happen. We did go to
there's plenty of people that don't want to watch college football that we love.
True.
The Cowboys have taken Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma.
Okay. Amarius Mims.
Yeah, I mean, Amarius Mims.
Go roll with it, my friend. I mean, we're 3.5 hours into this live stream. I've eaten dinner live on stream. I mean, we're just kind of hanging out. So this is not professional whatsoever. We do have over 200 people watching on all platforms. So we appreciate that. But yeah, Amarius Mims. I mean, he's a project player, right? Like we think he can be unreal, but it's one of those things where it's like he hasn't played a ton in college to really know, but the physical attributes are off the charts.
Yeah, the contrast between the college and pro opinion of Amarius Mims was very apparent in listening to the post-selection comments. Nick Saban, pretty critical of him, if I might say. You know, I mean, the quote, and I don't know which broadcast y'all are watching, if y'all are even watching a broadcast or if y'all are following the Twitter picks.
Your company on 3 is out here just tweeting stuff out 10 minutes before the pick comes in. It's great.
Hey, if you're first and you're right, you know, they say it's better to be, you know, right than first, but if you're first and right, why not jump with it? No, but there's plenty of NFL insiders that are tweeting them before on 3 is. Yeah. Look, I mean, so here's what Nick had to say. Notice how Coach Saban and I are so tight. I just call him by his first name.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's got all the tools. He's got great size. He's got great power. But it makes you wonder, how did the guy only start 8 games? Like in the SEC championship game, he played only the first 15 plays of the game, and then he's out. Takes himself out. I don't know what he injured, what he hurt, whatever, but you've got to be a little bit more consistent in your performance if you're going to be a great player and a starter in the National Football League.
That's fair. Yeah.
And he's not wrong. You know, I think that there were plenty of Georgia fans that were frustrated with Amarius Mims not playing more than the 15 plays that he did in the SEC championship game. There really wasn't any apparent injury, and he had been dealing with that high ankle sprain and the tightrope surgery, that he underwent in September, and ultimately came back from. And obviously, when you're playing in the middle of the line of scrimmage, there's there's a lot of twisted ankles and body parts that are flying around and whatever. So something easily could have happened. But I think that I wouldn't say it's a concern. The inexperience is a concern. I wouldn't say that there's character concerns there. I would just say there's a lot that you can maybe scratch your head at. Now, on the flip side of that, you've got an incredibly freakish athlete at 6'8", 340 pounds, massive hands, long arms, athletic as all get out. Maybe not necessarily the most fine-tuned pass protector, but he can get downhill and run block. And that athleticism can make up for a lot of mistakes in the pass protection. So I think that, when you look at what the Bengals needed, they need to protect their franchise quarterback. They are not one of the teams that had to go draft a quarterback because they've got a quarterback. They've got playmakers. And ultimately, you've just got to you've got to be able to protect your quarterback if you want to be able to compete in the AFC, because take Joe Burrow away from that team and they are not competing with Patrick Mahomes. They are not competing with Lamar Jackson. They are not competing with Josh Allen. They are not competing with Justin Herbert. They're not competing with Will Levis. I had to throw him in there and my Titans, but no, I mean, look, you've got to be able to protect your quarterback, and I think that Amarius Mims probably more of a project. Maybe not a day one starter. And I know a lot of teams don't necessarily want to take that at 18 overall, but I think that there's a lot of potential there for you to look really good. As Kuiper said, if he's healthy or he goes back to Georgia, we could have been talking about a top 5, top 10 pick. He wasn't healthy this year, and there are the concerns about his inexperience, and he slips to 18.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting that the Bengals, like you said, they've got their franchise quarterback, Joe Burrow. He's already had a major injury, that they take a project at 18. Maybe there was some more polished offensive tackles, like the one the Cowboys just drafted, Guyton from Oklahoma. Seems to be a bit more polished. I don't know
that Guyton's all that more polished.
He's just a big body. He's a really big body.
I mean,
I so is Mims, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He sounds like a bit of a project, and I think the Bengals' offensive line last year still needed some work. But like you said, he's a big dude, freak athlete. They'll find a role for him if he's just like a road grader. If they want to run the ball, they'll find something for him.
No doubt. I mean, there were maybe more polished offensive linemen. Definitely more polished offensive linemen. But you've got to be able to mix and match the polishedness of a player and the potential of a player. And when you add those factors together, you get an overall draft grade. And, his polishedness isn't necessarily too high, but his potential is way up here. Mm-hmm. And so you meet there in the middle. You might have some more polished players, but they may have already kind of hit their ceiling in terms of what they're going to be. And so you take a risk when you're a team that has a lot of things figured out and wasn't the best of seasons for them. But that was probably more so because your quarterback was not out there. And so how do you address that? You go out and you pick an offensive lineman.
Fair enough.
Baltimore takes Nate Wiggins, defensive back from Clemson.
We got 2 picks to get left, guys.
Lad McConkey going 30. I will say this, and Ralph, I know that you are.
And I'll answer that before you go.
Go ahead.
Buffalo's an interesting one. Now,
Yeah.
Kansas City was an interesting one, and to see those two teams flip picks and then Kansas City take a wide receiver maybe says that Buffalo's not as desperate for a wide receiver as we all thought that they were. Now they've potentially got a chance to still get the better Texas receiver in my mind.
A.D. Mitchell.
A.D. Mitchell. And so that's, to me, is you're trying to, go and replace
still a lot of good
Stephon
receivers.
Diggs. There's a lot of really good receivers.
This receiver class is loaded.
As you're trying to replace Stephon Diggs, I would go with more of an A.D. Mitchell type than I would Latham McConkey.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, you got Xavier Leggett, A.D. Mitchell, Latham McConkey, Ricky Purcell, Keon Coleman, Jalen
Tez
Poe,
Walker.
Jalen McMillian.
I say Keon
Corey
Coleman.
Franklin.
But you kind of feel like you have that profile receiver already with Gabe Davis a little bit.
He's not there anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Johnny Wilson.
Yeah, they've got a lot
That's
of rebuilding to do at that receiver spot.
Every Georgia fan's favorite player in the world, Jermaine Burton.
Complete head case.
Not necessarily the build of receiver, and yeah, definitely a fan favorite of those in Athens.
Bryce, did you see our guy with the Cowboys had another cameo?
Oh, have you seen this guy with this awful receding hairline in the Cowboys draft room?
Is it Brock Bowers?
No, it's worse than
he's
Brock
got a
Bowers.
mullet.
It's awful.
Like
It's everything you think you would see in Dallas.
Also,
their
draft room looks like they're in
the Death Star.
Death Star. They look like they're on the Death Star.
I mean, they're at AT&T Stadium, Jerry World. That kind of is the Death Star.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
How do you feel about Jaden Rashada?
Yeah, I was live when that one went down. We were doing our morning show, talking about the news, non-news for Kristen Miller, which is a whole different story. But Jaden Rashada, definitely a big pickup for Georgia. I wrote a column today that Georgia has, in the last little over a month, they've established an identity for their quarterback room, and it starts with Carson Beck, and that was what you felt like you had solidified. That was kind of the only answer you had in your quarterback room. Beyond that, it was, well, what's the backup situation going to look like? What are they going to go out and get somebody else in 2024? What are they going to do in 2025? How does their recruiting in 2025 affect this kid that they've gone after pretty heavily in 2026? And they have slowly but surely, since March 23rd, it is April 25th, so a month and 2 days, they've gone out and they've landed themselves a quarterback for 2024 in Jaden Rashada today. That hits their goal of 4 quarterbacks, scholarship quarterbacks for this season. They've gone out and they've gotten a 2025 quarterback in Ryan Montgomery, who, says all the right things and it looks like he's ready to compete, not necessarily scared off by the competition, and understands that development is going to be a part of his recruitment, a part of his path at Georgia. Understood that he wasn't necessarily Georgia's top guy and wasn't too butthurt about that. And then they've landed a 2026 quarterback that's one of the top signal callers in the entire country in Jared Curtis. So they have slowly but surely, taken on an identity in this quarterback room of that is very much so what Carson Beck is, a product of development, a product of not being scared off by competition, and a product of, ultimately you may have to wait your turn, but if you wait your turn, it'll pay off. And so that to me is the biggest thing of the Rashada commitment today is he's willing to wait his turn. He knows he's not going to be Georgia's starter in 2024. And, now we kind of wait and see until, next spring.
Could be a lot of fun.
Ralph, are you excited to announce this next pick?
I don't know who it is yet.
Who do you want, Ralph?
I'm not going to steal your thunder here.
Well, it's a 49ers pick, so I don't know.
I'm saying for the Bills.
I
Bills
want
are
Cooper
after them.
DeJean. I've already said it.
Is it Cooper DeJean?
Probably is.
31st overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Cooper DeJean.
This is a good pick. It's a really good pick.
Who would you compare him to?
49ers are taking Ricky Pearsall.
Give me some draft comps for Cooper DeJean.
Wait. Are they taking Cooper DeJean? I've got the 49ers are taking Ricky Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall.
I've got it at Cooper DeJean. Do we?
This is from Jordan Schultz.
Oh, somebody just texted me. Tough look for Dov. Wow. Drama.
Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, it's Ricky Pearsall.
All right, well, give us your draft comps for him, Ralph.
Lad McConkey.
Wow.
He's cerebral. He's got that dog. Palmer,
he's
this is
gritty.
not a professional stream, dude. We are 3 hours and 45 minutes into this thing.
Now I'm just nervous to be tweeting off of Dov's tweets to be posting stories off of that. I would have just
who's
rolled with
Dobbs?
Cooper DeJean. Dove Kleiman.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh yeah.
All I want to know is I'm the
He's a
only
bad
one who's been updating this list at the very bottom all night long.
You're the
Looks
one-
very
well,
professional. I like it, Ralph. You're doing a good
set
job.
it up. I'm the only one who's updated it all night, though.
Bud Elliott's tweeted this. He goes, Penix did run a 4.4 pro day. Maybe he can catch passes from Kirk.
I was gonna say if Arthur Smith was there, it would make sense.
So how quickly until George Pickens asked for a trade out of Pittsburgh,
Yes.
Palmer? That's what we really want to know here. That's the big stuff that we want.
Can someone find that picture of him on his?
Who did you want? Who should the Steelers have taken?
Huh? I'm talking about
No,
Arthur
we're talking
Smith
about Arthur Smith
being
his
their
offensive
OC.
coordinator.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
He's going to have Kenny Pickett catching passes or something. Is Pickett still there? I don't even know where he is.
Yeah, he's there.
Such
No,
a
he's
casual-
not.
He's
He's not there
somewhere
anymore.
else.
No, they traded him away.
He's with the Eagles. He's with the Eagles.
Yeah, their quarterback room is Justin Fields, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So what?
Loaded.
Arthur Smith must have lost his mind because he did not have tight end. Did he have
Panthers
third
have
string
traded
tight
up.
ends?
Panthers have traded up to 32.
Oh, good grief.
What is Buffalo doing? I mean, is Buffalo just like, we don't want a receiver, we're going to take Xavier Leggett?
I mean, if they trade, they're probably going back to 33.
What are they giving him? Some IHOP pancakes on the side? I mean, that's what's the draft composition like for this?
I mean, if they trade from 32 to 33, Bryce, they're going to be able to get, somebody that they feel confident in. If they've got a couple of guys, again, still A.D. Mitchell, still Lad McConkey, you can get one of those two. Xavier Leggett, still there.
Who's Carolina going to take at 32?
Yeah, I was about to put that
Probably
up.
one of these receivers. As somebody just texted me, are they mad for Lad?
Oh, God.
I'm just mad.
If
Palmer,
Carolina-
I'm really defeated, Palmer. I think I'm done. I don't really know what I can do at this point.
If Carolina takes Lad McConkey, I will be so disappointed for him.
How many more years
he deserves
does Mel
better.
Kiper have at this, you think?
Forever. He's going to go till he
Whoa.
dies.
You're going to pull a Ralph
Zoom
there and
in.
get pretty. Whoa, we really went into Booger McFarland's suit there for a second. Why does Booger McFarland look like an off-brand Bo Jackson?
Wow.
You should. I mean, Bryce, you should be the one up in arms. He played at LSU.
I don't care, dude.
Gymnastics world and national champions, dude.
Gymnastics national champs.
Hey, who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway?
All time.
I love
great.
that video.
Palmer, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers.
Panthers pick is in.
All right, Panthers knew who they wanted. If they take Lad McConkey, I'm going to die laughing. Or
They did
Cooper
not.
DeJean.
They did not.
They
Well,
should
who are-
take Edgerrin Cooper.
I can see him taking Xavier Leggett just for being.
There you go.
No,
There
Palmer,
you
who
go.
are you getting this from? Albert
The
Breer?
same person that just told me Cooper DeJean went to the
Xavier
49ers.
Leggett, yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Panthers have got to be the most, well, the second most unserious franchise because the Falcons took that title tonight. But we talked about it earlier. The trade,
Guys,
Wes, did you have it up? That trade
before we shift
for
off
Chicago?
of Xavier Legette here from too much, how about his voice, guys?
Dude,
Oh my
that
gosh!
video is wild. He's
Incredible.
He's going to fit in right there with Carolina. Did you see their head coach?
Just want to catch the deep ball.
That's who they wanted though. Out of the
That fan in that white zip up jacket is scaring me.
Yeah, he's from the Carolinas. Went to school in the Carolinas. They got to keep him home, and they got to trade up to go get him and make sure that they get that fifth year on his contract.
They could
have gotten him at 33.
Easily.
They could.
Did they give up a first round for this?
No,
that would be so Panthers.
No, they swapped 32, 33, and then they swapped something in the 140s, I believe. But no,
they got the first round 32 and then 6th round pick for the Bills, and the Bills get the 33rd pick and the 5th round pick.
Worth it if you really, 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 really want to keep that guy, but.
Worth it if you wanted to be on.
I'm pretty much where Alex is at this point. This draft has lasted way too long. My brain isn't working. This is nearly a 4-hour live stream.
We were talking about
my wife. I've talked to my wife like 2 times since she got home.
So y'all doing this again tomorrow?
No.
So all day Saturday.
Do this again.
Come on.
Palmer, I'll sit on here all day with you Saturday, and we'll talk about the draft until about 4:30 when I gotta leave for a wedding.
Can we pop a top while we do it?
Sure.
That happened before the stream started.
Bryce was doing that way before the stream started.
I don't know why y'all still aren't. I mean,
some of them have to work
come on.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will's past his bedtime.
Way past.
I mean, aren't we all?
No, not Bryce.
You know,
Bryce will
this
be
is
up for
Bryce.
another 3
This is
hours.
Bryce's fault. He doesn't pay enough.
Draft is over. Thank God.
Well, gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, I'm out of here.
We bring you on and you
He just left. Well, folks, man,
We've got more people watching now than we have.
I don't even know what people are watching for. Like, I don't even know what their content. What is the content
it's
we're
from
providing?
Twitter. You know they're laying in bed just watching this on their phone.
Go to sleep.
All right,
Thank you for watching.
before we get out of here, I've gone back to the timestamp of when Atlanta made the pick of Michael Penix.
We have to watch this.
And we're going to sit here and watch this because this is just, God, I am so pissed that this happened.
Same.
Make sure you get it right before I.
Do not.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. Also, Bryce, I know you love the NBA. The Magic are beating the Cavaliers by 40 right now in the fourth quarter.
Yes. Oh my.
No way they just took Michael Penix at number 8. There is no chance that they just wasted the number 8 pick.
JJ McCarthy.
For the I know I said Malik Nabers. I know that I said Malik Nabers earlier. Look at Will come up like he's on that Vine, that kid that turns around and goes, "Scoot." Yeah, no, the Falcons. Look, the Falcons.
That's what I look like.
That's Michael Penix. That's Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Penix. You are kidding me.
Kirko Beans and Dallas and Michael Penix, man. What a duo.
Kirk Cousins under contract for 4 years. Michael Penix is going to be 28 when he takes a meaningful
I
snap.
did it. Somebody said it in the comments. I think it was Tobias. Or somebody said it. I jinxed it. I jinxed it. Somebody told me I jinxed it. I did say it.
You're kidding me, guys, right?
Let's see if I can find it.
I do not understand. How can this franchise continuously they cannot keep doing this?
Will do it.
It's an act of terrorism.
I think I was in complete disbelief at this moment.
They cannot keep doing this.
Oh, my
This
How
started
are
literally
they
like a
always,
45 to an
every
hour
single
session of
year,
talking strictly about the
losing the
Falcons. And I
draft?
think Ralph was about to have an aneurysm because we would not update people
last
on
time
who
the
was being
Falcons
selected.
won
I'm about
the
to get
draft-
emotional on Twitter.
Well, see,
The last
all
time
I was
the
doing was just
Falcons won the
adding
draft
names the whole entire time. I'm like, oh, yeah,
was
this
when they
guy's a
took
good
Matt
person.
Ryan.
That's not true.
It's the
I don't
last
think
time.
maybe he prays with an E, but not with an A.
I don't
There's
care about
no
this.
way.
I'm a Braves fan. Trust me. Who's Our? Are you playing for him? Shut up. Get out of here with that. For the future. Our.
There is no way.
All right, let's see. There's
It's
it's not.
Yeah, it's Penix.
This is
not.
the part
It's
we're clipping
legitimately
right here.
Yeah.
Has to be a joke.
Right here. This is where we're
There's
clipping.
no
it.
way. This is a joke, right?
This has to be a joke.
Oh my
This has
God! It's
gotta
not.
be a
It's
joke.
not. It's legitimately not.
Yeah, it's Penix.
I'm ready to break something.
Y'all
That-
could have got off the train at the same time I did and get out that bull crap. Gone.
I want to preface it with this.
Michael
Penix-
they keep doing
Will,
this?
Will, I'm gonna let Bryce go. Then I'm gonna let you go. So I'm gonna let y'all two talk. You're the Falcons fans in here.
Listen. Will's just gone. I think Will has literally been over
I'm
at
dead
that point.
serious here.
This is a joke. This franchise is a joke. Will, I apologize. I don't want to come after someone who's close to you that works for the franchise.
You're
But I'm
not.
telling
She
you,
doesn't actually work for the franchise. She just works for the owners. You can say whatever the four-letter word you want about the franchise.
The four-letter word didn't come until later.
I like Michael Penix.
No, we had someone else say it.
I do not like him at 8. I don't understand it. The timeline we were all thinking was either this. Will, am I wrong? Am I wrong here? The timeline that we were all thinking is if you sign Kirk Cousins, Arthur Blank is trying to win right now. Is that wrong? No, that was the idea. Well, folks,
Season's over.
season's over. Game's dead. We really appreciate everyone watching.
Why you watch this long? We have no idea.
3 hours and 56 minutes. Over, we got 228 people watching on all platforms. Look, we appreciate everyone watching on Twitter. If you would like to come over and subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can catch an Auburn podcast tomorrow. We had multiple guests. Let's go back and thank them. Palmer Toms joined in the After Dark. We had Bo Morgan, which was honestly, guys, we had some good guests, like some professional guests. Bo Morgan, producer for the Atlanta Falcons radio network, was there. The Chris Marler, Vern Funquist, fantastic Twitter follow.
We got to get him back.
He was phenomenal. Like, he's got to be a regular. And then we also had
Garrett
and Caleb, which I kind of forgot about that because it was literally 2.5 hours ago. So approaching the 4:00 hour here, and I guess that's it. I guess what we're going to call it a night. That's Will Manis, Ralph Learman, as Bryce Koon. This has been an NFL Draft Watch Party. I'm not sure we'll ever do this again. We should. It's kind of fun. But, yeah, that's kind of all we got. Anything else you guys want to say?
I'm speechless. I'm going to cry myself to sleep.
It happened 3.5. It literally happened 3 hours ago, and I still feel like I just learned about it.
Feels like it's a sick practical joke somebody trying to pull.
Just don't get it. I don't get it. So, well, okay.
Let's get out of here. We've been here too long.
All right. See you guys later.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The crowded booth with